And knowledge is power.
He-Man! Transformers!
When you have that burning itching, you should see a doctor. The more you know.
Bing, bing, bing.
The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Dave's not here, man.
Good evening and welcome one and all to this edition of Pacific Forum 4 Pop Talk on the Pacific Forum 4 YouTube and Rumble channels along with the Twitter page. We are also live on Baron Orman Tag's Twitter page and Facebook page, and we are also live on the Phantom Hooligans. Welcome one and all to this edition. And tonight we have a few stories we are going to talk about. And those stories are, of course, one article from Barron's, not Baron Orman Tag's own newspaper printing service, but Barron's, the publisher. The last survivor of Pearl Harbor battleship sinking has passed away. We'll go into that. We'll also read an article from Bounding in the Comics. J.K. Rowling defies Scottish authorities as new hate crime and public order act is enforced. I look forward to being arrested, she says. In an article from comicbook.com, we'll read an article for Warhammer. Age of Sigmar reveals first 4th edition miniature. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk about an article from Variety where Endeavor, the parent company of both UFC and WWE, is going private. We'll get more into that article. We'll also take a look at another article from Variety where George Carlin's estate has settled the lawsuit over the AI-generated comedy specials, a story that we've actually talked about a few times here on Pacific Forum 4 Pop Talk. We will also talk about Stellar Blade and what that game suffers from. I can tell you from firsthand experience playing the demo, the game needs work in one key area, and we'll let you all know what that key area is when we get to the story.
It stinks.
If they can fix this main issue that the game actually has, and I know this is only a demo, but if they can fix this main issue, I think this game's going to be very good. But there's one key issue holding it back, and we will get into it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. We have a couple people here with us already, so I am getting them all prepped.
Yeah.
And those who are with us right now, we have, of course, T-Gap Steve. Will be reading the latest episode of Beverly Hills 414 by T-Gap Steve. What sort
Big
of
Daddy
shenanigans? That's right, Big Daddy T-Gap. What sort of shenanigans will the threesome of Beverly Hills 414 be in this time? I don't know. I don't know.
Something
I don't
crazy,
really-
obviously. Yeah.
This is
Just
why
like
I go to
the-
therapy.
Just like with the articles, I don't read the article ahead of time to find out what's all in the article. I want my reaction to be genuine. Just like with Beverly Hills 414, I don't read what TCAP Steve writes ahead of time because I want my reaction to be genuine.
I'm starting to think we should probably do that, though. Just say it. Just say it.
We probably should start doing that. And Phil's saying that his name is copywritten unless I get some money for use of my name. You can't use my name under YouTube fair use. I don't think it quite works that way, Phil.
Phil McCracken, Phil McCracken, Phil McCracken, Phil McCracken, Phil McCracken, Phil McCracken. Phil McCracken.
Oh, man.
And hello to Leia Rose. Good to
Hello,
see you, Leia
Leia.
Rose.
Good to see you again.
President's
Also-
phone number of the Phil McCracken.
Good to see Vor.
Yo, Vor.
Hope you're doing well, Vor. All right, so let's go ahead and find out what sort of shenanigans were in this time.
Heaven help us.
I think of Samuel L. Jackson in the first Jurassic Park. Hold on to your butts. Here we go. Gotta turn that up just a little bit. Oh boy. Do we want to know? We're gonna find
No.
out.
No.
Previously on Beverly Hills 414. Crypto had mixed emotions about flea markets. On one hand, there were really, really good deals to be had on things, but on the other hand, there were a lot of high-priced junk. I'll go for the junk.
And a lot of pleas.
Second wave Beanie Baby figures, which were worthless, mixed with mismatched silverware from estate auctions, part of an engine to something were on the display. Normally, he could sniff out a great deal. He could, after I'm going to turn that down a little bit.
No, first it's not loud enough, then it's too loud. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Cut me some slack here, Baron. Come on.
Come on, man.
Cornpep's bad dude.
He is, man. Come on.
Right. Normally, he could sniff out a great deal. He could, after all, hear a nickel dropped at 300 yards, but so much junk clouded his senses and made it hard to keep on task. Really, Cash?
I don't know anymore, man. Sometimes I think I don't know.
Remember, you can't make a caricature out of a caricature, and Cash is a caricature.
This is like we're all trapped in some kind of weird matrix. All out of
It's a
character.
The
bizarre
Matrix
world.
bot?
That's what it is. A bizarre world.
It really
Courtesy of T-Gap Steve.
yes.
Sidestepping a midget who was dead set on him needing to buy an authentic Tim Burton used umbrella, he made his way to the exposition hall and bratwurst stand. Going for the bratwurst.
Ooh,
My choice
Robert.
too.
Wait a moment. You said midget? You mean Phil was there?
Oh, come on, Baron. Why was he doing this to himself? This had to be some kind of trap, even if it did seem far too clever for Phil. It wasn't like Phil was his only nemesis, foe, pain in the ass. What was Phil?
Who is Phil? What is Phil?
Why is Phil?
Why is Phil? Yeah.
Winsville.
There were numerous persons about the area, and he noticed quite a few of them had quite magnificent chins.
Of course.
Well,
Oh,
if it
my.
was a trap, Crypto wasn't the only one to fall for it.
Magnet.
He filled out the paperwork and smirked a bit to himself as the little old lady taking applications gave him the side eye. Yeah, that's right. Grandma Chan. You know what you like. What the
What?
hell,
I
TGAF?
don't even. What? I don't. What is going on?
What
I
in
knew
the
it.
hell, man?
Oh my!
I knew
You
it.
know what? I need to start reading these ahead of time.
I knew it. I knew it. Cash like the older ladies.
I
They
don't
go-
know.
No, Baron, it's not Cash, it's you.
Oh, me? Oh, me? Okay. Oh, cool. Take out those false teeth and give me a gummy.
You know what? Why don't you read this, Baron, if you're so into that?
What? No, keep on going.
Baron huffed a bit under his breath. He had tried all his dollar bills and even a $5 bill to see if he could knock his chips free from where they were stuck. All of it to no avail.
Oh.
They just sat there all stuck like they were laughing at him. Well, no inanimate object was going to get the best of Baron. Or his name wasn't Baron. Did I mention this was Baron? Yeah,
Huh?
you did. You did.
Okay.
My
He had-
real name isn't Baron. It's Gern Blanston, but that's beside the point. Go on.
He had managed to sweet talk the receptionist into giving him change for a couple of singles. Ha! Get ready, machine. Let's see you reject cold, hard metal coins. It's still gonna reject it.
Mm.
He stopped, however, seeing one of the mechanics at the machine, bonking it on top of his ham-like fist and giving it a hip check and the thunk of the chips falling free. Well, you know what, Baron? You left your post and someone else is reaping the rewards.
No. Baron's sad.
The ease at which the man had performed the task without a single care in the world, it wasn't till the guy was out of sight Baron realized that the mechanic had nabbed his chips. The mechanics now, Baron.
Death.
Mike had cleaned up and taken a shower. He felt he may just be ready to face the day. Even sans coffee, fresh clothes, and a smile on his face. Yeah, he was ready to take today like a champ. It was probably a good thing that the coffee was used up. He had been putting off shopping anyway, and this morning had used up all the staples of breakfast he had on hand. Grocery list in pocket, he went to the little bodega around the corner. He could drive to the big store a couple of blocks away, stock up on the cheap, but he liked this place. It was cozy.
Oh, cozy.
One benefit of the bodega was he didn't get that squeaky cart that had a bad will. No matter what store he went to, he always ended up with that cart. Like every store had 80% bad carts. Well, you see the way people treat them, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Is that John Boyega, by the way? I just want to know.
He was wondering if it were possible to take bad cart luck and use it to win at the lottery when he realized there was something missing. The entire deli section was empty of meats.
What?
Baron, I told you. You gotta let them know when I'm coming.
Mm.
No beef, no pork, no chicken, no bacon. No bacon?
I don't know bacon.
No bacon? What the hell, man?
Come on, man.
How about bacon strips? I mean,
You don't
just
eat
go to the
bacon
pet section.
strips.
Go to the pet section and get some
Baron,
bacon
if that's your thing, cool. But that's not my thing, man.
Okay, well, when in a pinch,
In a pinch, you hear him, Cash? In a pinch. No sausage, no fish, not a thing. Mike was far from a carnivore. What do you mean, far from a carnivore? You don't know me that well, Steve. But he wasn't a vegetarian either. How could he make food at home with no meat? Does Crypto stand a great...
I heard about Mike's birthday dinner, and it was a bloodbath. Yes, he's a carnivore.
I am. Does Crypto stand a chance? Does Crypto stand a chance at winning the prize in the chin competition? Or is he still walking face first into a devious trap? Well, I believe it's going to be the latter because I can hear Phil's cackling right now.
Except for one thing, if it's Phil, it's not that devious. It's, he's too smart for his own good, or I don't know.
Will Baron confront the mechanic about the chips, or will he decide to forego the stale munchies and settle for something like a Snickers or Twix? I'll take the Twix.
He wants that cookie crunch, man.
Mm-hmm. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. That's what I want.
You want to kick?
What happened? What happened to the meat at the bodega? Is it a return of the masked troublemaker? Vegetarian? Really, Steve? Really? That's what you came up with? Vegetarian? Or has the bodega simply not gotten their shipment yet? It's the latter. They haven't gotten their shipment yet.
Yeah.
All this and more as Beverly Hills 414 continues after these messages. Steve, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't know where you're taking this story. I really don't.
More importantly, he doesn't either, but that's beside the point.
And real quick, I do want to say hello to some guy from Norway.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Fox from 540 Studios. Yeah, some Norway guy. Hey, Norway guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know I'm just messing with you, Jace.
Norway? Is that what you're trying to say?
And we also have the Padawannabe. We're everywhere, Padawannabe. We're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I also want to say hello to Lord Crit of Everest Productions. The stream is missing a certain king. Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Baron. I think you and I know who the true king and legend of Pop Talk is.
I think so. Don't we? I think people forget the other show that's on hiatus right now that I'm part of. It's called the Primetime What? Kings.
The Primetime Kings.
Primetime Kings.
Yeah. Primetime Kings, baby. Right here, man. Of course I'm the king.
Yeah,
you're one of the kings with 24 being the king.
Oh yeah, he's the big boss. He's the big boss. You don't mess with him because he'll come and he'll blow some shit up, man.
He will, man. And when you ask him
up,
to go do that with you, he's all for it every time.
Well, yeah. We're just gonna go out there and gonna go out there with Loki to the comic book shop that has pizza joint in it, and gonna blow that shit up, man.
And thank you for coming by. All the broadcast locations Had it want to be. Greatly appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So
We're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead and get into our first story of the evening. This is one that Baron let me know about last night, and I said I do want to talk about this tonight
Mm-hmm.
because this is important. Some might think it's not that important, but to me, it's important
Yeah.
because of what happened on that day and knowing that inside the remains of that ship, there are still sailors. They're entombed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead and get into this. This comes from Barron's. It was actually posted on April 1st, and it says, Last survivor of Pearl Harbor battleship sinking dies. The last survivor of the USS Arizona, the battleship that was sunk in the Japanese bombing of Pearl Harbor, has died at age 102. The charity honoring victims of the attack said Monday. Luke Hunter was a 20-year-old quartermaster who helped rescue fellow sailors on December 7th, 1941, after the United States Pacific Fleet came under a surprise attack. The assault, which catapulted the United States into World War II, damaged or destroyed most of the fleet stationed at the Hawaii Naval Base, and resulted in the deaths of more than 2,000 Americans. Luckily, it wasn't more of the ships that were stationed there, as there were ships out practicing maneuvers at that time.
Mm-hmm.
If they hadn't been doing that, then it would have been even worse than it already was. Over 1,100 people aboard the USS Arizona died. Many of them are still entombed on that sunken ship. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still oil leaking from it, too.
Yes, there is.
This is a heartbreaking loss, said Eileen Utterdike, president and CEO of Pacific Historic Parks, a nonprofit that honors those who died in the attack. Luke Hunter epitomized what it meant to be a member of the greatest generation, Americans whose collective courage, accomplishments, and sacrifices saved our country from tyranny. He had an exemplary career in the Navy and was steadfast in imploring the schools, parents, and everyday Americans to always remember Pearl Harbor. Conter went on to be a pilot later in World War II and was shot down twice, including off the coast of New Guinea, where he and his crew landed in shark infested waters. As an intelligence officer, he flew combat missions in Korea and created the Navy's first SEER, Survival, Evasion, Resistance, Escape program.
Hmm.
He was a military advisor to Presidents Dwight Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, and Lyndon Johnson. Pacific Historic Parks said on its Facebook page that Conter died on Monday at his home in Grass Valley, California, surrounded by family.
And it's not just those that died on the ship that are still entombed on there, but every survivor, when they pass, and of course he's the last one, they can, and many of them do, get buried on the ship to be with their fellow sailors.
I can understand that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's even more so. It's like Arlington in Hawaii in that aspect, but it's a very elite one, being that you have been involved in it, which of course none of them wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So
No. But I wanted to talk about this because, as I've mentioned before, my grandfather served during World War II. My grandfather on my father's side, and my grandfather on my mother's side, who was in the Navy. He was an engineer in the Navy.
Mm.
And we really don't have many from World War II left.
No. This reminds me of when I was younger, and it was the World War One generation that were, leaving us left and right.
Mhm.
Now it's hard to believe. Now we're talking, I'm hearing this, but now it's to the World War II generation when, there were so many when I was growing up. And one thing a lot of them didn't do was talk about it.
No.
The old joke about the first rule of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. Second rule is you don't talk about it. Well, in many ways, that was the attitude of the men that came back. I mean, yeah, you had some that did.
Mhm.
But in some regards, no, I mean, they came back with that attitude. I went over there. I did what I needed to do. And yeah, you had people that were still suffering, but, it was that generation where you got to buck up, suck it up,
Mhm.
buttercup type of generation. Of course, out of that, you started getting some of those, it's kind of funny. You started hearing that, this guy who was a World War II vet starting a motorcycle gang. Well, that was his way of not being able to let go of the war and such. So, it's sad. Well, first of all, it's sad that they were ever put in there, but it's also sad that they're going because there's so many today that think they know everything, and they'll be the first one to tell you, they're the same thing. I mean, they're willing to talk right to these veterans' faces and tell them exactly, no, you're wrong. This is how it really was, and they're telling it to a person who was there. And now that oral history, that history of the people who were actually there, are going more. And it's like, I hate to see what is going to be coming down the line now that they figure, oh, yeah, we can say and do whatever we want.
There's someone that's going to dispute it. That'll be their line of thinking.
Yeah.
Who's around to tell us we're wrong?
Right. Even though there's volume upon volume written, but
Yeah, and I was just going to say that shouldn't be the attitude taken. Because there's one thing I'm still grateful for to this day, and I will take it with me for the rest of my life, is back in 2002, my father and I went to a bombardment group reunion up in Richmond, Virginia, and to be able to talk to those who served during World War II. Now, granted, as far as I know, maybe some of them did, but I never heard them mention it. None of them served in Pearl Harbor, but the fact that we are and have lost so many World War II vets who had so much knowledge to share, because the men and women, yes, men and women who were at that reunion had so much knowledge to share. I tried to soak up as much of it as I could.
You had the WACs, you had the WAVES, which were the Women's Auxiliary Corps through the Army and the Navy. So yeah, you had the women that were involved in the aspect. Sure, they might not have been going out actively shooting the bad guys, but some got put in situations where they had to. And yeah, you had some that were prisoners of war.
I found out from my parents at a young age that our next door neighbor was at Pearl Harbor the day of the attack. And he was in the Navy at the time. And he didn't like to talk about it, but he did mention it to my dad, especially after my grandfather passed away on my dad's side. Because he wanted my dad to know the information and then tell it to me one day.
Yeah, and that's what you got with some of these guys. They'll keep it bottled up until it's like, well, I got to pass this along, somehow. Someone's got to know. Yes. It's like they didn't want to go out there and seem like they're glory hounds and such.
No,
But I
they
mean, when
weren't.
you had,
Most World War II veterans I've ever met are very humble.
Mhm. And and it comes down to the stupidity that we do have going on today. When at the one VA hospital, the biggest thing that was on there concerning that concerned them the most was taking down the mural of the sailor kissing the nurse or whatever. That famous picture. Because that's sexual harassment, and he forced his way onto her, even though when they've talked to these people many times, yeah, they didn't know each other, but hey, they became friends and such. There was no one thought there was any boundaries. They were celebrating into the war, and this is the type of people we're now left behind, trying to tell us what this is all about. It's like, these people are, this and that, and And that's what's sad about it. And now I'm looking at the fact is, just like I'm saying that we're looking at the World War II, like I was looking at the World War I when I was younger. Now the Vietnam era, well, Korea more so, but now the Vietnam era guys are kind of in that boat. They're the ones that were in that position in many ways of being that next generation that's going. I mean, they're going. It's
and the thing about those gentlemen who served in Korea, some of them are mixed with not just World War II, but some of them also, with their positions, served in Vietnam.
Yep. Then you had the lucky, and I say that with some irony, that served in all three. They were in Korea, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they probably sit back going, "How did I sign up for this trip?"
Well, not only sign up for the trip, but survive all three.
Yeah. More importantly, yes. But yes, it's always sad when you see one more go, and I'm sure that his wishes are to join his fellow shipmates on board the Arizona. Mm-hmm.
But you pray for the families because they lost a loved one, and you pray for all of us because if it wasn't for this generation, we wouldn't be here today. There's a reason why they're called the greatest generation. It's because they made the ultimate sacrifices. Sacrifices, I don't believe, and this is just my opinion, but sacrifices I don't believe that we ourselves could make today.
No, not as a nation. No, not as a nation. Individuals, yes, not as a nation. No. I mean, you just have to see how people were reacting to both Gulf Wars, especially the second one, where you had all these hypocritical lawmakers, quote unquote. I don't like calling them lawmaker because that's not their job. Going out there and supporting and saying, yeah, we got to do this. And then because their constituents might have been sending them bad letters, all of a sudden start backstabbing everybody behind. It's like, really, honestly, that's what you're going to do. But then again, when you have basically a bunch of people who were probably protesters during the Vietnam War and were more than happy to spit on people.
Which doesn't help anything anyways.
Right. I mean, exactly. So
with any war, it doesn't help anything. It's just like, guys,
you can disagree. Yeah, you can
disagree. Right, you can disagree, but you don't know the situation over there and stuff.
Yeah. You had people back then that were disagreeing with all this. People that didn't want to get involved. We didn't want to get into the war, but then you had the bombing. Boom. It's like, okay, let's roll up our sleeves. Looks like we've got work to do. But even then, you still have people that didn't want to. But, but still, it was not the fact that we're going to go out there and belittle the ones that did go.
The think back to Vietnam.
Mhm.
Okay. You know, there were protests, and even when our boys were brought home, they were booed, they were spit on,
Right.
they were villainized.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Which they never deserved.
Nope.
And it's like save that for the politicians, not the soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
But-
they blame one person for setting up a war. You know, like all the crazy stuff that went on in Iraq, and then it's
Mhm.
like, but other people voted for this too, but they're not to blame
Mhm.
either. It's just crazy. But
Well,
yeah.
it shows that getting involved in conflict should be thought about. I mean, is this absolutely what we need to do? Sometimes,
this
unfortunately, it is.
Absolutely the last result.
Mhm.
And like you're saying, Baron, in
Mhm.
some cases, it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Hawaii was not a state; it was a territory, but still, it was our military. It was our territory. It was, our men
It
that
was
were
still
attacked.
U.S. soil. It was
Mhm.
still U.S. soil.
And then you had a certain little man in Germany that kept his word to the Japanese and declared war on us. So what do you do when they declare war against you? That's why in Star Trek Next Generation, one of the lines that really bothered me the most.
Okay.
Picard was sitting back saying about the Federation and all that, and he said that even no matter if we, and I'm paraphrasing here, that obviously our goal is to negotiate and talk before we have a battle. And if they choose not to listen, it's still our fault, or we still did something wrong. It's like, no, there are people out there in this world that are happy to go out there and kill, maim, murder, invade, control, hold people under their thumb, because that's just their nature. I mean, people gotta quit thinking that there is not evil in this world.
Yeah,
That's
and
the
you
biggest
gotta
lie.
you got to stop thinking that, oh, this side's better than this one. Maybe they are a little bit, this person is, than this side. But then again, when you find out more about them, you're like, they're kind of the same, as in they still have that I deserve this attitude. And you're like, this is not good. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not be quick to get involved in especially other people's war. I mean, that's what we were trying to do back in World War II. We didn't want to get involved in other people's war.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, the war came to us, and we got involved.
Our backs were against the wall, and we had to make a decision. Yes.
Right. I mean, when all of a sudden you get your ships bombed like that, it's like, okay, well, I guess the decision was made for us. Let's go.
So also look at it like this too, Baron. World War One.
Yep.
The country was divided during World War One. There were people that were saying that we should go, people that didn't want to go.
And you had people that thought we were on the wrong side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they and real historians, they're going to look at the whole everything. People who just want to cause problems will be like, oh, well, we shouldn't have done that. We're stupid. We did this. It's like, do you really understand? It doesn't matter if it's the Iraq war. It doesn't matter what it is, either part one or part two. You can't just look at one part of the situation and say, oh, I understand that. Even situations going back, which is not even like war, like the whole thing with the levees broke. If you, of all people, if you watch the Spike Lee documentary, he actually showed both sides, and you learn things that you go, what? That actually happened? Oh, of course. And the mayor and the governor at the time didn't even want George W. Bush, however you feel about him, to bring in the National Guard. They basically told him to go F himself. And this is true, YouTube. So I don't want to hear your bullshit, YouTube. This is actually truth.
Yep. Well, yeah, and anyone who sits back and says that history is only written by the victors and history, blah blah blah, are the laziest lying fucks there are in the world.
Yes,
History is not for the lazy.
No, it's
history is not for the biased.
No, it isn't.
When you go out there, you gotta sit back and put things aside and start looking at it.
Right.
Yeah, it could be a tool that can be used by nefarious people. Usually, the ones that sit back and say that come up with all the excuses that history, we can't, history is just by the victors and all that. And it's like, well, if that's the case, then the Vikings should have had a sterling reputation because they're the ones that kicked ass in Linsenvarn, and yet it was the monks that sat back and said, "Hey, these guys came in and kicked our ass, so how bad they are," and that's what they based a lot of Viking history off of. So don't tell me it's only the victors.
Exactly.
That is not the case, and to hide your past, like Germany and Japan does, and they do, about things, doesn't help matters much either.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we're not going to come and dump on you, which of course a lot of people want to do. How many times does someone says they're from Germany or whatever, and it's like, all of a sudden they're doing the little hand salute and making fun and mocking them and all that, even though we're how many generations away from that war.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that's not productive either. These
Right.
are not people that were involved in that, just like this generation of Japanese, but they should not be sheltered away from it. They should not be, given blinders and say, "Oh, don't just ignore." No, that little time between 1939 and 1945, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing interesting happened.
Nothing of importance happened. Just ignore that point in history. Is
what
some people do want others to do.
Right, exactly. Right. You just people say, "Oh, America's always been this horrible country. It's a horrible country." Well, this is just an example, guys. Then why do people keep coming here? Why do they keep coming here if this country is so horrible? Please explain that one to me.
Why did they leave their country of origin?
Exactly.
Well, more importantly, why don't these people that scream and cry and bitch and moan leave when they say they are? But they never leave.
They never do. They never do, because they know things are good here for them, or good enough.
Right. They never go to the paradises that they sit back and start agreeing. And it's like, well, why not?
Exactly. You said you want to leave, so go ahead. No one's stopping you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a GoFundMe to help pay for the tickets.
Yep. And I'm going to also say this too. If you live in a certain country and you care more about your country than these other countries, don't feel bad about that. Just don't. It's your country. You live here.
Well, it's your house. It's your home.
It's amazing that people feel that they need to have some kind of guilt for these things where they don't need any kind of guilt at all. It's ridiculous.
Well,
be guilty with stuff that makes sense, but don't let other people tell you that you need to feel guilty because of this, that, and the other that you have no control over. Ridiculous.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, every nation is a house. It's a home. It's a family, right? Mm-hmm. So you just don't want anybody just willy-nilly coming into your house, rummaging through your refrigerator, and then sitting down in front of the TV set and changing the channels and saying, "No, we're going to watch this."
Exactly.
Right? You're not going to leave your door unlocked when you leave. In fact, even when you're at home, you more than likely might keep your door locked anyways, right? And that's not because you have any hatred of your neighbors or strangers. No. Someone knocks on the door. Of course, you're going to check to see if it's Jehovah's Witnesses or not, but you go answer and you're friendly, and most times you have that welcome mat. But the thing is anyone that comes through that door is a guest. Yes. You treat them as a guest. But at the end of the night, you expect them to go home, unless, of course, they're out-of-town relatives and they're going to stay for the weekend or the week, right? But even then, at that end of the time, they're hitting the road and going back home. They're not just coming in and moving in and saying, "Hey, here I am. Now accommodate me. I want to have your master bedroom, by the way. So can you please sleep in the den from now on?" No, no one should be ashamed of wanting their country and thinking of their country first, because
that's right.
Just like I said before, when you're in the airplane, and they're going through the safety thing, and they say the masks come down, and you happen to be with like a youngster or someone who needs to have help, no matter what, you put yours on first. Why? It's not being selfish or thinking ahead. They have to sit back and say that because what's their first inclination? We want to help somebody else out first. But by doing so, the decompression might actually cause people to pass out, and you're not going to be any help whatsoever. We don't take care of our nation. How are we going to take care of the rest of the nations out there?
Exactly.
All these people that backstab us in one hand and then have the handout in the other.
Yeah.
How we're going to help other countries out there when ours crumble?
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with caring about your country. There's nothing wrong with patriotism or nationalism. Can it go out of control? Oh, hell yeah. Like anything else.
Yes, absolutely.
That's why you got to keep it. You got to keep yourself based.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, then that's when you start having problems where, it's like, well, not I'm on a little piece of Poland, a little piece of France, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, Roman Empire, other people, it doesn't matter. Soviet Union, little Austrian with a funny mustache, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is this man died to make sure that we're able to do that, or didn't die, but he served.
Right.
He fought in that war. He watched his brothers die for that, and he's hoping that when he passed, that he'd be leaving behind a better place. And who knows what he thought? Does he think he left behind a better nation? Did he feel sad? We don't know. But the big thing is he did his best, and I guarantee you, there's many people out there that wouldn't have been able to in this country, just to give everything up.
Right.
And the guilt that many men suffered back at that time because they were 4F'd. They wanted to, but
they
for
wanted
whatever
to serve,
reason,
there was some, medical issue or some other issue that prevented them from serving the country.
Yeah. You got glasses. Your prescriptions are too strong. You can't see, so we can't. You're of no use. If you lose those glasses, how are you going to help and how fight? Sorry, 4F.
Yeah.
But they're wanting to. You had people who were underaged sneaking into the service to do their part.
Again, I strongly believe that you wouldn't see that now.
No,
I'm not saying
No,
there wouldn't be anyone signing up if something happened. There would still be some signing up, but at the numbers that there were after Pearl Harbor bombing,
our backs would have
back
to
in
be
1941.
against, our backs would have to be against the wall in a war situation, and we would have to make a decision just like we did in World War II. So then people might finally be like, we have to work together, all of us. We can't if we're going to survive. And I think that's what it would take. Because then there's no other choice at that point. But I think a lot of people, I don't know if everybody in the country would, but a lot of people would be like, yeah, we're
and even back then,
yeah,
he didn't have everybody also. You had malcontents and stuff like that didn't want to. And
of course.
But you're always going to find that. Not everyone's going to be unanimous support. But the thing is, hey, we have a nation here that for how many years until just recently, we were able to keep the enrollment in the armed forces to level without having to institute a draft, right? But nowadays we're starting to have issues. People are not wanting to join the military for many reasons and legitimate reasons, I might say. I'll just leave it there. But we have enough people in this country that do think highly enough that they want to join whatever branch of the service, the Guard, reserves, whatever it is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't had a draft since the 70s.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
yeah.
think about it. I mean, all of us, if the draft was still around, all of us would have at least have served at least 2 years in the service, if not 3. Automatically when we came to age, it's like, okay, time for us to go down.
Mhm.
Maybe I can enlist before I get my draft papers. That way I can go into the branch I want to be in.
Yep. Or some
Um,
people would go to another country, so they wouldn't have to enlist. So,
Well, yeah,
like they did with
And-
the Vietnam War. Mhm.
right. But I'm just talking about in general because
Yeah.
Elvis was drafted in, and we weren't in
True.
that war at that time.
Mhm.
So was Johnny Cash. I mean, you take Harlan
right.
Ellison. I mean, you take a look at basically it was everybody just to keep the military forces up. At that time, it was just automatic. You were drafted. Even if we were in wartime. And of course, needless to say, when the whole thing like Vietnam came around, and then you started having the burning draft cards running to Canada. Canada going,
Mhm.
what the hell do we do to deserve this?
They might have been saying that. I don't know.
Also, think about the celebrities that signed up during World War II.
Mm-hmm.
Clark Gable was one of them, wasn't he?
Jimmy Stewart.
I know Jimmy Stewart was,
Mhm.
and as far as baseball stars are concerned, Joe DiMaggio was.
He did.
Mantle, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah.
That's why you had such hardball when after the war and these guys came back. They're playing baseball like they were fighting a battle. And that's where you gain the games where they're coming off the field bloody because it's like, okay, spikes up. And no one thought to complain about it, but Maris, Mantle, all these guys, that came back.
Mhm.
Let's see. Oh, Jimmy Stewart,
Ted Williams.
Henry Fonda, Ted Williams.
Yeah.
I mean, Martha Ray was involved, but with the USO and all that, Martha Ray was one of those that, especially during the Vietnam War, she would go to the areas that were basically in the fire zone where none of the other celebrities would go and entertain the special forces there. And the special forces made her an honorary Green Beret, and she got buried with Green Beret honors because of that. Because they never forgot that.
Jimmy Doohan.
Yep. For Canada.
During World War II for Canada, but still, he served.
Yep. Oh, that's that. Oh, no, I'm not taking anything back away from being Canada. In fact, he lost a finger. It got shot off.
Didn't Gene Hackman also served in the military too?
I believe it was the Marine Corps.
Yep. I think he
So
was a
did
former
Clint
Navy.
Eastwood, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not for sure. I don't know about
you can
Eastwood.
look that up. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm looking that up right now. I've got to double check myself. If I'm wrong, I'll state that I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm. Then we get to play Captain Tennille. Well, you're wrong. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them and a lot of celebrities that wanted to get into the firing zone, but the military didn't want that because, well, in one aspect, they wanted to have morale. Use a lot of them in the entertainment corps. Plus, if somebody died that was a star, they fear that would be a morale bummer. To bring morale down. And they didn't want that. But you had people that were wanting to go and actually kick ass and take names.
I found this when I searched for Clint Eastwood, so we'll go ahead and share it real quick.
Oh, he's a police officer in San Francisco?
Clint Eastwood this is from 2019, sorry. Clint Eastwood from Navy to one of the greatest American actors. And like I said, this is from 2019, but I'm going to go ahead and read it because it's related to what we're talking about right now anyway. So the Hollywood star Clint Eastwood, once upon a time, was a soldier long before he dared anyone to make his day as famous Dirty Harry. He served as a swimming instructor at the Fort Ord in California. As fate and luck would have it, his swimming skills would come in beneficial. The plane, okay, and then all right, I'm just making sure I didn't skip anything. All right. So it says the plane developed engine trouble when he was hitching a ride aboard a Navy torpedo bomber, Douglas AD 1Q. It was forced to ditch into the Pacific Ocean off Point Reyes Peninsula near San Francisco Bay. Clint Eastwood and the pilot swam 2 miles through the tide to shore to safety, implying his own character's watery trials in Escape from Alcatraz. His military career set the future course of his life and taught him to be disciplined and persistent. It was a lifetime experience that must have indeed given Eastwood an insight into warfare that would influence the war films in which he would later star and direct. He is also one of the rare famous Hollywood actors that survived a plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm getting down here to the military service. These were the early days of the Korean War, and Clint Eastwood was sent to Fort Ord in California for basic training. He lucked into a job as a swimming instructor and remained at Fort Ord. He worked nights and weekends as a bouncer at the NCO club. And it says Clint Eastwood became friends with future successful TV actors Richard Lawn, Martin Milner, and David Jansen during his military service. Despite his career wasn't so active as he had acted in some movies, Clint remains one of the greatest American actors and producers of all time. After his discharge in 1953, Eastwood attended LA City College. I mean, say what you will. You still need instructors. You
Yep.
still serve.
Mm-hmm.
You need those to teach the ones going into battle what to do under any circumstance.
Well, especially with how many miles they swim that in the Pacific, yeah, that's we have Chuck
2
Norris
miles.
back then. We had Clint Eastwood before that, and I know his name. I know his name is tarnished now, but another man who served in Korea in the Navy was Bill Cosby.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you had all, of course, back then he was nobody, it was like Bill Who, but just like in this case, it's like Clint Who.
Yep.
I think there's a level of sacrifice and worldview that came out of all this that, well, especially now with these generations now that we have, the comfort generation, you might want to sit back and thinking, comfortable time creates weak men. Hard time creates strong men. And we've been comfortable for a long time, folks, and it shows. It really shows. I need my safe space. Oh, you said something that hurt me. Oh, we got to make a law that that you can't say things that hurt my feelings. Oh my word! Can you imagine them going to basic or boot camp back in the day?
That's true. That's true. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't believe Leonard Nimoy served in World War II, but he did serve in the Army.
Yeah,
Yes,
I also found out Sinatra. I was looking because we were talking about older celebrities. I was like, Sinatra had a pierced eardrum or something, so they didn't allow him to. His draft board said he can't serve, which is very interesting. So,
well, plus he didn't want Sinatra to go. I mean, he was too much of a, he was too much. If they lost Sinatra, I mean, can you imagine what the morale would be with the soldiers and at home?
Right.
So it's like what they do then? It's like, okay, entertaining the troop, which, let's face it, that's kind of an important thing to keep morale up.
Oh, it is. It is. Look at how many years Bob Hope did it. I mean, it's just as an example. Yeah, just absolutely. It's very important.
And I have news for people. For a long time during World War II, it didn't look like we were going to win.
No.
Which is why another thing is trying to have that morale built up. When you have that sword of Damocles over you, saying, "Geez, the other guys might actually win." Let me grab my How to Speak German book. But all seriousness though, you don't know which way things are going to go. You need to try to keep that morale up. I mean, that's why, of course, they want to make sure that "I'll Be Home for Christmas" was never played for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, it's like they don't want to, they don't want to get people depressed. They don't want to bring that morale down. You got to try to keep the soldiers focused on their job. And sometimes losing megastars, and let's face it, Bing Crosby and Sinatra, they were just absolutely giants in that day.
And it's good to see you, DJ.
Absolutely.
Oh, nerd.
And DJ Ronnie G will be our guest next Wednesday on Pacific Forum for Pop Talk.
I lost that vote. I lost on that vote. I want to recount.
Well,
and speaking about having feelings hurt here, my feelings are constantly hurt here by Cat. I mean, look at what he has on you. I try to put uplifting things in such about Cash. I mean, he gets no credit. I mean, I got sympathy for him here, and he's still with the Forbidden Donut, bringing me down. The man is bringing me down.
Bear needs his own safe space.
Here's Cash with his Beverly Hills privilege. And his gardener.
I wish that was a thing, man. I wish. Were you?
So, do you have a good day abusing your gardener today and making sure you got the trimming right?
Geez,
oh boy, Baron! I'll send him over to your house, man. All right.
Oh, I got my own. Trust me. And I'm not kidding. I got my own.
I swear,
Well, it's actually where I live.
We can't take Baron anywhere.
Mike. But I do belittle. We
have to all belittle, or we wouldn't be on this show.
Well, yeah, but I take a page out of your book on how to belittle to help.
Right. I'm glad.
I go out there drinking a nice big cool drink and eating a burrito.
A burrito too.
Burrito, yeah. Well, yeah. Like, this is a good burrito. Nice cold ice cold drink here.
Just drinking a pina colada.
Yeah, of course. You missed the spot. Come on. I want you to trim now. I want you to use fingernail trimmers.
No. Baron looks at his gardener and says the same thing, and then he throws a magazine at him. It's horrible. Just horrible.
Well, I am my own gardener, so if I look at the lawn and it looks like crap, well, I only have one person to blame, me.
Yeah, you should talk to him about that too. I've seen pictures. Your lawn was voted. This is the third year.
Tell you what, the next time I look at myself in the mirror, I'm going to say, "Why didn't you trim near the hedges, huh?"
I saw that the third year in a row. The Mayberry Gazette voted your lawn the worst lawn of Mayberry, and it's like,
not again with me.
Oh God!
Oh my gosh! Yes.
He wants me to push the button. He wants me to kick him out. I'm not. I'm not falling for that bait tonight. I am not.
No bait for you, Aaron. No bait for you.
What's wrong with Mayberry? You make it sound like it's a bad thing.
You're the one that makes it sound like it's a bad thing.
I don't. Be proud of your.
I'm not complaining about it. You hear me complaining about it?
Yeah. Be proud of your heritage, man.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you left the lofty hills of California to go to Mayberry. You know, Cash can't bring himself to do that because it's like they don't have the proper Starbucks and stuff. So
I think you can find Starbucks other places than the West Coast.
I said the proper
Jeez.
ones.
No, proper. Proper.
You get your stuff. You get yours flowing in from Seattle every morning.
No, I don't.
Oh boy.
Oh my
Bad.
goodness.
Baron Armentag, aka the troublemaker of the group.
He
I'm
is,
not a
man.
troublemaker. Come on, man. Come on, man. Corn Pop, he's a bad dude.
He's the one with the three.
You're not a troublemaker, huh?
When the three of us are walking, we're Mike and I are the ones who push him down on the sidewalk. What did Baron do now? Oops.
You know what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing? I see the two of you when I'm walking the other direction.
Hey, that's
Don't blame
not
you.
good. Yeah.
I don't blame you. I don't blame
Baron
you.
and I are looking at each other. It's time for mutiny.
Arr!
Man.
But you know,
I'm being
speaking
singled
of
out.
speaking of someone who's not afraid to walk the other way and say, "See you guys, screw you."
Yeah,
That's
guys,
basically-
I'm going home.
That's basically what J.K. Rowling is doing. She's defying a new Scottish authorities' order on hate crime and public order, and says, "I look forward to being arrested." It's like, come on, I'm going this way, but you know what? Come on, come in after me. Come get me.
Oh, JK, you're turning me on more and more every day.
This is by Josh Berger. It was posted on April 1st. So I did have to quickly scroll down to make sure it wasn't an April Fool's Day article.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you always have to do that on April 1st, you know. But I've seen other stories since then, too, or the authorities sat back and said they're not going to go after her. They're not going to play into her hand.
Harry Potter scribe J.K. Rowling takes to social media to defy Scottish authorities as strict hate crime and public order act is enforced, declaring that she looks forward to being arrested when she returns to the country. Officially titled Hate Crime and Public Order, Scotland Act 2021, this particular act was first passed by the Scottish Parliament on the 11th of March 2021, receiving royal assent A on the 23rd of April that same year and enforced on Monday, the 1st of April 2024. Enforced it on April Fool's Day. Yeah, that's a joke.
How apropos.
Yes. Per the document, the act is enforced to make provision about the aggravation of offenses by prejudice, to make provisions about an offense of radically aggravated harassment, to make provision about offenses relating to stirring up offenses. That's what I said. Relating
this
to
is like word salad. Go on.
Well, what do you expect? It doesn't matter what country is writing the bill; it's all word salad.
Yeah, I know.
mean,
I know.
it is word salad that you probably should read each and every little bit of whatever bill that's being passed. Because you never know what little hidden programs are being placed in there. I just wish our politicians did that.
But Mike, we have to pass it first to see what's in it.
So in other words, when you see something with the terms of service, you just scroll down and hit agree. You don't read the fine print to find out what sort of catches might be in that wording.
My eyesight's not that good to read that little fine print. I got my lawyer to do that. Harakita Feinberg. My lawyer, Harakita Feinberg, yeah.
But to make provision about an offense of racially aggravated harassment, to make provision about offenses relating to stirring up hatred against a group of persons, to abolish the common law offense of blasphemy and for connected purposes. You guys get all that?
No,
Further,
it sounds like
specifically-
it's selective. It sounds like it's selective.
Shocked.
Further, specifically regarding aggravation of offenses by prejudice, the law stipulates that an offense is aggravated by prejudice when there is a specific victim of the offense, which can happen at the time of committing the offense, or immediately before or after doing so. The offender demonstrates malice and ill will towards the victim, or when the malice and ill will is based on the victim's membership or presumed membership of a group. That the document lists as follow: age, disability, excuse me, race, color, nationality, including citizenship, or ethnic or national origins, religion, or in the case of a social or cultural group, perceived religious affiliation, sexual orientation, transgender identity, variations in sex characteristics. Why don't you add a few more while you're at it?
You know, this is what you get when you have a nation full of men that wear skirts.
It's called a kilt, Baron. It's a kilt.
I'm beginning to have my doubts right now. This is fucking Scotland, for crying out loud. What happened to the Khyber tossing, haggis eating, tough women? I'm talking about the women here. Then you got the men that come up and start doing this. What happened to that? What happened to the? You can call me whatever you want, laddie. But I tell you what, if you keep it up, I'm going to clock you one.
I don't know.
Are there testicles? I'm sorry. Are there any testicles in Scotland now that's not being served in a dish? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I offend anybody? I guess I can't go to Scotland now.
It is also aggravated by prejudice. The document states whether or not there is a specific victim of offense. The offense is motivated wholly or partly by malice or ill will towards a group of persons based on the group being defined by reference to a characteristic mentioned above toward members of a specific group. In the offenses of stirring up hatred section, the document also stipulates a person commits an offense if the person behaves in a manner that a reasonable person would consider to be threatening, abusive, or insulting, or communicates to another person material that a reasonable person would consider to be threatening, abusive, or insulting. So, in other words, you can't tell anybody in Scotland a joke.
Well, okay. Define reasonable person. Honestly. Really? What is a reasonable person?
That's up for interpretation.
Well, exactly. Exactly. That's what is BS.
I know. That's why when I saw the headline, I thought, this is going to be an interesting one to talk about.
Oh, really? Yeah. Now I know why Scotland's rugby team has been sucking so bad. And that's coming from Scots telling me that, by the way.
A person who commits an offense under this section is liable on summary conviction to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 12 months or a fine not exceeding the statutory maximum or both, or on conviction on indictment to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 7 years or a fine or both, it further states. The Harry Potter scribe has been very vocal about her discontent with transgender ideology, accusing on several occasions that this particular movement seeks to erase women, criticism that could end up falling into the categories protected by the new hate crime law. As the Hate Crime and Public Order Scotland Act 2021 is enforced on Monday, the Harry Potter author shared a series of social media posts showing transgender activists and criminals to decree the new law's hypocrisy in omitting women as a protected group against hatred. Scotland's Hate Crime Act comes into effect today. Women gain no additional protections, of course, but well known trans activist Beth Douglas, darling of prominent Scottish politicians, falls within a protected category. Phew, wrote Rowling, sharing a couple of posts made by Douglas wherein he incited to violence on social media. Shouldn't that have that person arrested?
I would
Come
think
on.
so. No.
It works both ways.
Well, rules
And
for
a follow.
thee.
I know. Rules
know
for
you know.
thee,
I know.
not for me. In a follow-up post, the Harry Potter author added, "Lovely Scottish lass and convicted double rapist." I know I said it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Isla Bryson found her true, authentic female self shortly before she was due to be sentenced. Misgendering is hate. So respect Isla's pronouns, please. Love the leggings. Fragile Flower, Katie Latowski. Oh, gosh, that's a mouthful.
Dolatowski,
What
huh? Sounds like a Slav to me. Oh, I'm sorry, that
was
was hate crime.
was rightly sent to a women's prison in Scotland after conviction. Ironically, Mark Rowling added, this ensured she was protected from violent, predatory men, unlike the 10-year-old girl Katie sexually assaulted in a women's public bathroom. Oh, great.
Oh, look at that, sweetheart. Oh my. You can hardly tell.
I don't want to give them any more attention than they've already received.
No, I was just being sarcastic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You couldn't tell.
And hello to Jet Sparks.
Mhm.
No, it's not necessarily to protect them, Jet Sparks. It's to protect another group.
Right.
Samantha Norris was cleared of exposing her penis to two 11-year-old girls. Hooray, Rowling mocked. She continued. Unfortunately, she was then convicted for possession of 16,000 images of children being raped, sexually assaulted. But that as it may, Sam's still a lady to me. Rowling pointed out Scottish women and butcher Amy George abducted an 11-year-old girl while dressed in female clothing. No idea why this was mentioned in court. Of course, she was wearing women's clothing. She's a woman. Amy took the girl home and sexually abused her over a 27-hour period.
Oh, today.
Yeah. Most women aren't axe toters or sex offenders, so let's talk role models. Giulia Valentino in red wanted to play on the women's team because of sisterhood, validation, and political visibility, Rowling sarcastically remarked. Naturally, she was given some boring cis girl's place, the Harry Potter author later added, concluding with tongue in cheek, yay for inclusion. All right, so we don't have to read the rest of these.
No. But you look at this, right? And as a woman, and she's a woman, right?
Yeah.
Her voice is not heard when she has concerns about how she's seen years of advancement in for women's rights and such. And now they're being tossed out.
It's being thrown away.
Because of this. Right. And she doesn't have a right to say this. I thought only women had the right to talk about stuff like this.
Mhm.
Oh, not
Women
anymore.
only had the right to be concerned about women's issues.
Right. Not anymore.
Remember, their body, their choice.
Right. Exactly. And to go out there and make a ridiculous law like this, and especially a segment of the community, like women, being left out, that's a slap in the face. She has legitimate reasons to say these things.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't like how things are going. This is not a thing to go against all people who are that are basically transitioning. No, that's not the case. It's about those who abuse that system. And we see more and more cases of that, which, of course, hurts those who are doing it legitimately.
Mm-hmm.
Or for what they feel is legitimate reasons other than the fact that I want to get put into this prison, or I want to get onto this team. I want to, use this to my benefit. Make it a mockery for everybody. And she's calling it out. She's coming out and saying, the emperor has no clothes. No, we're going to have the emperor has no clothes law. Basically, that's what it is. It's not hate against homosexuals. She's made it known. She is for homosexual rights and such. Remember, she had to make sure we all knew in a tweet that Dumbledore is gay, right? Even though none of that was in the books. She did her fair bit of pandering, right? This is not a woman who is a radical right-wing extremist. No, not any stretch of the imagination. But she walks up to like Kirk going, excuse me, what does God need with a starship? And all of a sudden she's public enemy number one. And the ones who have done more talking about this have been her detractors, which only basically go, okay, fine. The gloves are off. I'm coming out now. I'm coming into the ring. She only made one tweet and everyone went apeshit.
Yeah. Everybody lost their minds.
Yeah, they lost their crap, and now it's like, okay, fine. No matter what I do, so I'm going to come out there and speak my mind. Are you going to throw me in jail for that?
So be it. That's pretty much what she's saying. So be it.
And the authorities made it known they're not going to do it because they know that that's the wrong thing to do because it will not be good.
No.
At all. And the thing is, Baron, are you saying that you are for hate speech? In a sense, yeah. Why? There's a caveat to this. Don't you want to know where people's true feelings lie?
Remember, every time there's some organization, remember, Baron, hate speech. Oh, I don't like the speech. Well,
right.
We'll take an example of game. Then there should be a mute button. You don't want to hear this person. You want to block this person.
Right.
That should be it. But it's never enough. As we've talked about, it's never enough for them. They have to go to the extreme. This offends me so much. This must be changed. Then the media gets involved, and it just becomes a giant clusterfuck every time.
Well, the thing is if there's someone out there who actually truly hates another minority,
right,
another ethnic group, right?
Yes.
Let them talk.
Right.
Why?
Because they make themselves look like idiots.
Let them run their mouth. Let them dig their own hole.
Exactly.
Right. Give them the rope.
Yep.
Give them the rope. At least you know where they're coming from, and you know best to. Okay, we don't want to associate with this moron. But the moment you start doing stuff like this, right? It starts, whether you like it or not, people like it or not, psychologically. It starts going, maybe this guy has a point. They're wanting to suppress what he's saying. They're wanting to suppress him, whatever. Maybe he's telling the truth. And then they start falling for the BS. It's happened before, and it'll happen again. Someone offends you, fine. You know what? You have the right to be offended. What are you saying about that? What do you mean, Baron? Germany had a right to be offended by what was going on? No, they had no right to be offended. Do you think the Catholic priests and nuns in Cuba had the right to be offended by what was being done to them? No. Do people have the right in North Korea to be offended by what their leader is doing? No.
No.
You don't have the right to be offended. Be thankful you have the right to be offended. Because it means one thing. It means you can do something about it. And it's not doing stupid crap like this.
Yep. If you don't, and once they take that right away, you find yourself in jail and other horrible situations.
Right. Well, it's like, oh, I'm offended. I'm offended by this. Well, sorry, it goes against the state. Off to the gulag.
You spoke out against us.
Right. This is a double-edged sword. It swings both ways and very viciously too.
It does.
Do you like your head on your neck? Then don't go for crap like this.
Yeah, they're playing a very dangerous game with this new law.
Yes.
Right. Revel in the fact that you have the ability to be offended. And the thing is, again, be man or woman enough to stand up if that's the case and take it on. Don't go running to a safe space and cry and expect the government to do it for you. Because that very same government will be the first, will be the first ones that will turn against you. And as you're being lined up against the wall, it's like, wait a moment, I was for all this. Yeah, that's why you're being put up against the wall. Das Vidanya.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Auf Wiedersehen. Sayonara. No, these are very dangerous precedents, especially for us. And I'm talking about people who are in fandom and such. We already have a bit of this with fandom. If we're not for what we're being given, look at all the names that we're being called and attacks us against us, and how we're told that we're not wanted. Yeah, and that we're not wanted. You're not. This doesn't belong to you no more. Literally, that's what they do say. It doesn't belong to you no more. It's ours now.
Yeah, and they say that. An example with new Star Trek. Now they're begging for us to come back.
No,
because their product isn't doing as well as the original product, the older product.
Shocking.
Well, yeah, no one's buying the merchandising. I mean, poor Yogurt's having a bad time trying to get Star Trek the Flamethrower out there. No one's watching. I mean, again, Discovery has that mantle piece that they put on the mantelpiece. Hey, we're another Star Trek series that got canceled, despite the fact that we're saying about how popular and how much being watched. Well, if that's the case, you wouldn't be getting canceled off of a streaming service. You'd be going out on your own terms, like Star Trek Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and Star Trek Voyager.
All went 7 seasons, all left on their own terms.
Right. Look at how we're treated in the Star Wars, quote-unquote, fandom with the trendies. And that's what I'm calling them now, the trendies. Look at how we're treated with the Doctor Who trendies out there. It's like, no, it's ours now. It's ours now. You gave it to us and we broke it, but it's ours now. It's not yours.
What? You're still here? Get lost.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we don't want your opinion on stuff. See, it's the same thing. It goes hand in hand on that. We don't like what you have to say. Oh, Star Trek has always been social justice warrior. No. Star Trek never was social justice. It was social awareness. They didn't go out there with the freaking baseball bat and pound you over the head saying, you must follow this. What we're saying here, or else you're an F-phobe, whatever. Unlike Star Trek of old, hey, here's something I'm all about. Think about it.
Here's this side. Here's this side. Now
Mhm.
we're going to leave it up to you, the viewer, to make your own decision,
Right.
your own determination. Who's right? Who's wrong?
Right. Here, we're going to give you some honey. So it's so it's appealing to go through this, right? It's some honey here. That way you can digest it better. It tastes better. You can mull it over. You can have your honest opinion when you're done. Compared to, hey, here's a bunch of shit. Eat it. You don't like the taste of it? Tough. The trendies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's all
let's face it. If Ghostbusters 2016, or as they called it when it was released to DVD and Blu-ray, Answer the Call was so good, then why? Tell me why they made Afterlife, huh? And brought back the cast. Yes, I know the surviving cast members who agreed to come back for Afterlife were
Mhm.
also in 2016. But
yeah, in
why
cameos.
did they bring them back as their original characters, huh?
Mhm.
That's because 2016 didn't do as well as they were saying it did.
Well, as the original cast members that did have their little guest cameo appearances in there, they didn't realize what type of shit show that was going to become because all they were seeing was their cameos. But
Mhm.
Ernie Hudson sat back and said, "Yeah, I think even Dan Aykroyd, yeah, if we would have known." Because they're only given what they were, again, in Hollywood, you're only given what you're supposed to know. It's like, okay, yeah, Paul Rudd, he's involved. I'm sure this is going to be pretty good. Let's support the girls. Let's do this. Okay, we did our one day of cameo shooting. I'm going to go home now and, have some vodka from my company in the shape of a bottle with a skull and or whatever, and we'll all be happy now. Then the
Yeah,
movie
but
comes out. It's like, what?
I don't cut Dan Aykroyd that much slack.
Yeah, Danny was a little bit more involved in it, but
Yeah. And that's
he's a
why,
little
because
more involved.
he does have a say in what can
Mhm.
and can't happen in the Ghostbusters
Mhm.
universe.
I know Ernie Hudson wasn't happy.
No.
He's also wasn't happy with Cash Money too, but that's beside the point.
Hmm.
I just see if you're awake. That's all.
I'm here. Just
But
listen.
yeah, you're here. I just want to know if you're awake. That's all. I
I'm
know you're here.
awake too. Just listening.
Yeah. Didn't know if you were doing your whole food run.
Whole Foods.
Yeah, but again, this is the same stuff, and obviously, it's not quote unquote laws that's been enacted, but it's been the attitude that's been enacted by the studios and the trendies. I can't wait for this stuff not to be trendy no more, so we can get back to basics.
Well, this has two companies that tend to trend, and they're completely different opposites when it comes to said trending. One is mixed martial arts, the other is sports entertainment.
Ooh, nice segue, by the way.
Thank you. This article was posted just yesterday by Variety. It's written by Todd Spangler, and it says Endeavor to go private in deal with Silver Lake, valuing company at 13 billion. TKO Group, parent company of UFC and WWE, will remain a publicly traded entity. All right. That answers that question. Endeavor, 3 years after the sports entertainment and talent management company went public, announced that it has entered into an agreement to be acquired by private equity firm Silver Lake. The deal gives Endeavor an equity value of 13 billion, the company said. According to the parties, the premium to be paid by Silver Lake, which already owns 71% of the voting shares in Endeavor, represents 4.6 billion more equity value to all Endeavor stockholders. The acquisition is expected to close in the first quarter of 2025. So we still have a full year before it actually closes.
A lot of stuff can happen between now and then.
Yeah, this deal could fall apart.
Yep.
TKO Group Holdings, formed last year by the merger of WWE and Endeavor-owned UFC, is not part of the Endeavor Silver Lake transaction and will remain a publicly traded company. TKO will continue to benefit from its connectivity to Endeavor's enterprise, relationships, and significant capabilities, Endeavor and Silver Lake said. Silver Lake believes that when consolidating all of TKO's value into Endeavor, the combined total enterprise value of $25 billion will make this the largest private equity sponsor public to private investment transaction in over a decade, and the largest ever in the media and entertainment sector, the company said in announcing the pact. The deal comes just over 5 months after Endeavor, whose holdings include WME, I was about to say WWE, force of habit, and majority ownership stake in TKO in October 2023, announced a strategic review of its assets in a bid to find new ways to boost shareholder value, including going private. Silver Lake's history with Endeavor dates back to the PE firm's initial investment with William Morris Endeavor in 2012, continuing through Endeavor's subsequent acquisition of IMG in 2014 and IPO on the New York Stock Exchange in 2021. Under the terms of the agreement, Silver Lake will acquire 100% of the outstanding shares of Endeavor does not already own. Silver Lake owns about 37% of the outstanding shares. Endeavor stockholders will receive $27.50 per share in cash, representing a 55% premium to the unaffected share price of $17.72 per share at market close on October 25th, 2023, the last full trading day prior to Endeavor's announcement of its review of strategic alternatives, and a 39% premium over Endeavor's 30-day volume weighted average price prior to that date. Endeavor CEO Ariel Emanuel, pictured above, said in a statement, since 2012, Endeavor's strategic partnership with Silver Lake and Egon Durbin have been central to our evolution into the global sports and entertainment leader we are today. We believe this transaction will maximize value for all of Endeavor's public stockholders and are excited to continue to unlock and invest in the growth opportunities ahead of a private company. Egon Durbin, co-CEO and managing partner of Silver Lake and chairman of Endeavor's board, said his firm's unwavering belief in Emmanuel executive chairman Patrick Whitesell, president COO Mark Shapiro, and other talented leaders at Endeavor has never been stronger. This is a very special partnership, Durbin said in a statement. Together, we have built and grown Endeavor from $350 million in annual revenue when we first invested in 2012 to nearly $6 billion in consolidated revenue today. As a privately held company, Endeavor can take advantage of its unique core platform to meet the dynamic forces driving growth in content, sports, and live events with bold vision. The transaction is subject to usual closing conditions and required regulatory approvals. No other stockholder approval is required. Upon completion of the transaction, Endeavor's common stock will no longer be listed on any public market. Endeavor Holdings comprise talent agency, WME, IMG's sports operations and advisory, event management, media production and distribution, and brand licensing business, live event experience, and hospitality through On Location, cultural marketing agency, 160 over 90, OpenBet, sports data and technology provider, and its 51% controlling interest in TKO Group, meaning they can also help dictate what happens in both UFC and WWE, most likely. Endeavor reported full year 2023 revenue of 5.96 billion, up from 5.26 billion in 2022, and adjusted earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Come on, Mike. Amortization of 1.21 billion. Net income came in at 557.5 million. Last year, the company paid out 101 million in advisory fees and bonuses related to the WWE merger with UFC, as well as the 1.25 billion sale of its IMG Academy business. In 2023, UFC and WWE both logged record revenue and sponsorship deals. On a pro forma basis for full year 2023, the combined operations of UFC and WWE generated revenue of 2.62 billion, up 8%, and net income of 241.5 million, or a fourfold, increase of over 60.1 million the prior year. And another reason why I selected this article was because with Endeavor being the parent company forming the TKO holding group with WWE, is because this weekend is also WrestleMania. And from the clips I've seen of WWE, I have noticed some changes, not just since Triple H took over, but also changes in the production since Endeavor took over.
For better or worse.
From what I watched, I can't really make a good judgment yet.
So the big question is, did anybody get George Lucas's take on this and who he was backing? Just curious.
Well, I mean, if you want to just quickly touch on that, Baron, I wasn't
What?
really gonna.
I'm just making a smart ass comment. I don't want to touch on that. Everyone else is talking to death on that one.
Yeah. Everybody
talk
and their
about
grandmothers talking about that.
Mhm.
I'm not going to talk
Yeah.
about it because I really have nothing new to add.
I have nothing new to add
From my
either,
perspective.
other than a smart aleck comment. That's all. I mean,
Yeah.
You see what I was doing there? I was just trying to have some topical humor. Topical.
Yeah, add some levity to it.
I don't think the levity worked though.
I told you, Baron, I'm the straight man of the group.
Yeah. I know
I'm the Mo. I'm the Mo of the group.
You're the Mo. You're the Bud Abbott. You're the Stan Laurel. Yep. Mm-hmm. You're the who was the straight man for the Marx Brothers? Was there Gummel? Zeppo? You're the Gummel or Zeppo?
I thought it was Zeppo. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, they had probably both of them. You know, kind of hard to tell.
YouTube's got problems.
What now, Cat?
No, just what
Anonymous is saying, I find it funny. YouTube will put Cash's simulcast at the top of my feed and not show me Mike's stream, or it's 6 layers down.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Did we say something that hurt your feelings?
I don't know.
Oh well.
You know what? I'm not gonna worry about that.
I don't worry about that stuff.
I just love when Baron said, "What now?" I'm reporting what Anonymous said. How dare you, Baron?
Well,
How dare?
what do you mean?
Where's my repressed?
Well, you got control over that.
No control, not at all.
Okay,
You,
fine.
you've,
I'm being repressed.
There you go.
well, listen to the chin. I have no control.
I
Right?
have no control over anything.
No, I have no control about YouTube being stupid. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, well, no, I said you had control over putting the clip out there, man. But okay.
Oh
fine.
no, I know that, but I'm talking about the YouTube thing. It's ridiculous.
Oh my
You know what?
God, I'm feeling like a
I'm-
straight man now.
That's right.
I'm not gonna worry about it. Why worry about it? I'm just gonna do
No.
my thing.
I wouldn't worry about it, dude.
Let Cash worry about it for us.
Yeah, right.
He can charge in the YouTube office with that magnificent chin of his and go, "Hey, what's up?"
My beautiful chin.
That magnificent chin. Remember, poor Cash Money gets no credit. We want to
But-
give you
but
credit,
what-
man.
One thing I do wonder about, even though Endeavor is going private with their new deal, I just wonder how long it's going to be before UFC and WWE go private.
And that, do you guys feel that's going to be a problem if they do, or
I don't know. Depends on what
Here.
machinations they got going on.
Exactly.
I mean, that's all I can think of. Again, it's just like the Disney thing. It's just like a lot of the other things. We have no idea what's going on. We know that there's
No.
something going on. We know there's
Right.
something up. But
Right,
what
we can
exactly is
speculate? But
we
yeah,
can
exactly.
speculate, which is why we're not talking about Dizzy and Georgie.
Easy. Right.
Because again, how much do you sit back and say, well, the same speculation over and over again? Now this is coming to that category. We know something's up.
Mm.
What's
Yeah.
up?
Yeah.
Well, now it's time to sit back, grab the popcorn, and hope for a good show.
hmm
That's all I got to say. Let's hope for
Yeah.
a good show.
And let's
The
see.
reason why-
Speaking of,
A good
go
show.
ahead, Baron.
Oh, because last thing I want is Cash getting upset because it's not a good show, and here I go.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Come on.
Oh, speaking of which, you know what? You might, guys, someone might have talked about it before. I stumbled across this AI Family Guy thing that's live on the YouTube.
Mhm.
And if you donate, you can put in a line of what you want to have them play it out. It looks like it's like they're using like the pixels from the Family Guy 3D CGI game.
Mhm.
But and of course, some of the AI voices it's okay. Some are horrible. Like Chris is horrible, but and sometimes it doesn't work out with the voices, which makes it even funnier. But I don't know if you guys saw that or not. In some ways, it's funnier than the current Family Guy episode because it will go there.
Mhm.
And again, it comes going back that am I looking at the future? Am I looking at the future here with this?
Well, some of this AI stuff is pretty cool, I have to admit. But
Yeah.
it can be. It's in the wrong hands. It can be definitely dangerous. It can be
Well,
used for
I know
nefarious
because
purposes. What else?
especially this.
Cash Money can put his change in my piggy bank any day.
I mean, you absolutely think the AI is wonderful because of that. So, I mean, I don't blame you.
I guess. Yeah.
Anytime you get your fans fawning all over you, you're for it. So, has Alec Baldwin started filming movies in front of your place yet?
No.
No? Okay. I just want to
Shit.
yeah, well, I was supposed to be interesting though. It's like,
That-
turn on Entertainment
That-
Tonight. Some guy with a magnificent chin came out with a 9-iron swinging at Alec Baldwin today.
I mean, well, that might be a good reason to swing a 9-iron at him, but no, that piece of shit can stay away from my neighborhood. You know.
I mean, it'd be the only reason why I'd watch Entertainment Tonight, The Alec Baldwin story.
Yeah.
His car parked right in front of your partner's driveway. Blocking you guys in.
Well,
You go down to the commissary truck and he goes, "Hey, Hey, get away from
Well,
me.
I mean, this is the man who was playing that word game or Wordle or whatever on the plane, stopping the what was it, the plane from taking off? I think that's what it was, because you got to
Oh,
turn
because
off
you didn't put
their
on airplane
electronic
mode.
devices. Yeah,
Yeah.
what a jackass. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't you know who I am?
That's right. Don't you know who I am? That's Alec Baldwin for you. Yeah, I know who you are. I know.
Yeah.
I
So.
wish I didn't. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he cocked the finger at him. It's like a
Mm,
bang. At him. It's like, catch you later, killer.
that's right.
Ooh, that was even cold for me. I
Yeah.
still liked it. I still liked it.
Yeah. It was dark.
Yeah, sometimes.
I'll allow it.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. But being that case, I guess we gotta play this.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
It did. It did. Brett killed man. Yeah.
With a trident.
I-
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to see that.
You have
That's
to,
what-
dude. It's so fucking
Yeah.
funny. The second one's funny too, but I do agree that the
Mhm.
first one's the best. But the second one is still pretty fun.
Well, as long as it's got Christina Applegate in it, I'm
does.
happy.
It does.
Yeah.
Both of them do.
Oh, should we start off with
I
this?
call bullshit.
There we go. There's our AI, George Carlin, ushering us into the story. See the segue I did for you, Mike? That's a great segue.
Well, I was gonna say you mentioned that Family Guy AI creation,
Mhm.
and I was gonna make a segue before I had to do something real quick
Mhm.
about the AI, but we've been talking about this, and this is wrong. And Will Sasso knows that it was wrong to even do it to begin with.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
I expect better of him than this nonsense. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't think much of Will Sasso, but that's me. But okay.
But this article is also from Variety, and it says George Carlin estate settles lawsuit over AI generated comedy special. This is posted on the 2nd. It's by Gene Mattis. It goes on to say George Carlin's estate has settled a lawsuit over an AI generated imitation of the late comedian, with the creators agreeing to remove it from their YouTube channel and podcast feed. They should have never posted it.
Right.
In January, the Dudzy podcast released George Carlin, I'm Glad I'm Dead, which purported to be an hour-long special created by an artificial intelligence. Carlin died in 2008, but the special featured a sound-alike voice doing Carlin-esque material on a contemporary topics like trans rights and defunding the police. The estate sued, alleging that the special violated the estate's copyrights and its publicity right to Carlin's name, image, and likeness. The Dudley
Mhm.
podcast is hosted by Will Sasso and excuse me, Chad Quilchin. Sorry. Within a week of the lawsuit, they notified the estate that they had removed the video from their YouTube channel, along with any mention of Carlin from their podcast and social media accounts. Again, it should have never been posted.
Right. And they should have taken it down the moment that she complained about it, instead of going out there and saying all she is a money grubber.
Yep.
You remember the slander they were doing, going out there attacking her? Yeah.
Oh, I do.
Pepperidge Farms
we
remembers.
We remember too. Remember
Yeah.
the article that we read came from Geek
Mhm.
Tyrant.
Yep. Remember? I remember. You remember? We remember. Pepperidge Farms members.
Under the settlement, they agreed to a permanent injunction that bars them from uploading the video again or from using Carlin's image, voice, or likeness in any platform. Good. That's all. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it should be.
Right.
Kelly Carlin, the comedian's daughter, issued a scathing statement about the AI generated special when it was first released, calling it a poorly executed facsimile cobbled together by unscrupulous individuals. In a statement on Tuesday, she said she was gratified to have the situation over with. I am pleased that this matter was resolved quickly and amicably, and I am grateful that the defendants acted responsibly by swiftly removing the video they made, she said. While it is a shame that this happened at all, I hope this case serves as a warning about the dangers posed by AI technologies and the need for appropriate safeguards, not just for artists and creatives, but every human on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
SAG-AFTRA has pushed for federal legislation that would make it illegal to create fake digital replica of someone without their consent. Carlin's estate sued under California's right of publicity law and allows for copyright infringement under federal law. Give me one
Double
second.
whammy. Yeah, I think that one thing it does prove is no, this wasn't a money grab from the daughter. Absolutely, right here. It's like, okay, you took it down. This is what we want. Okay, go away now. Don't go away, man.
Yeah.
Just go
Don't-
away.
Just go away. Don't bother us anymore. And don't do
Mhm.
this ever again.
And don't, and kind of like, Chris Rock to Will Smith, don't you ever say his name.
Mm-hmm. In a statement, the state attorney, Joshua Schiller, said that the lawsuit was intended to preserve Carlin's legacy and shine a light on the threat that emerging technologies pose to intellectual property. This
Mhm.
settlement is a great outcome for our clients and will serve as a blueprint for resolving similar disputes going forward where an artist or public figure has their rights infringed by AI technology. This is not a problem that will go away by itself. It must be confronted with swift, forceful action in the courts, and the AI software companies whose technology is being weaponized must also bear some measure of accountability. The special was first released on January 9th. A week later, in response to backlash, Kultgen indicated on the podcast that the special was not written by AI. Instead, he suggested that the script was written by a person and fed into an AI voice generator. The estate argued that it was an unlawful appropriation of Carlin's material either way. In an
Mhm.
interview, Schiller said he would seek to get YouTube and other platforms to take down copies of the video that had been posted by other accounts. However, he noted that there is a gaping hole in the law as there is no federal right of publicity and thus no assurance that those platforms would have to comply with such request. Although they should, in principle, they should.
Well, again, it goes under the copyright. You're
I
talking
know.
about federal copyright. So you have a way of going it. We don't need a new law. Use what we have.
Use what's available to you.
Right. Last thing we need is another law. Just use what we got.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, now, actually now it's like, why isn't Carlin with us? Because can you imagine Carlin doing a bit about this?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the title, I mean, I have to sit back and say, I'm glad I'm dead. That sounds Carlin-esque right there. And okay, we got us writing it, whoever it was, writing, a real person writing it. But really, are you going to do it like Carlin or what you think Carlin would do?
They would do what they think Carlin
Right.
would say.
And the one thing about Carlin is you never know what he's going to say on something. Don't be so quick to assume.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's like I'm glad Sasso and gang got their keisters handed to them. And again, proving that this wasn't about money. Oh, you took it down? Okay. I'm happy now. You happy? I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit I created that Transformers song using AI, the one that I played Monday.
Right. And you never, it's not the Transformer theme redone. It's, one that you put different things in there. It's, nowhere are you saying that anybody with Hasbro or the Transformers or whatnot was involved in it. No, I mean, and again, not hiding it. We're not making money off of it.
Nope.
So I mean, this is where like AI is fun. AI is fun for stuff like this. But when you got the people going out there trying to use it for unscrupulous things, it's like, look at all the fake pictures they put out where they try to make Orange Man look like he was involved on the little island escapade, which he wasn't. And of course, and some of it was so bad, but you still had the sickle fence going, see. And I think there was some that went up against the man currently sitting in the Oval Office. The same thing there. Other countries are having that problem. Yeah, this can be a problem if used wrong, just like anything else. And I like to think that we use it for fun. The right reasons why.
And I will admit that when I wrote the Transformers song, I did include some lyrics from the original theme, but the way they're presented in that AI generated song, it doesn't sound like it did in the original theme, and that's the purpose. I don't want it to sound like the original theme. I want it to be a tribute.
He's a tribute band, guys. Tribute band. Come on, man. He's a tribute. Oh, and that's just it. I mean, and thank God, at least we can do this.
I call bullshit.
I don't think George would even be pissed off with us using that because we're using it in the right spirit. It's just one line, his attitude, and what we think. And we never claimed it was him.
It could be any of the three of us saying, I call bullshit. And we have actually said that ourselves without even using that clip.
Yeah, I call bullshit on that. But no, exactly. See, right there. But I don't know. It's just this is such a sticky wicket area. And again, just like April Fool's Day, if you see something, it's always good to question it. Count the fingers. Make sure, see how many fingers are on the hand. If there's more fingers than there should be, then it might be a fake. Or if they're going in directions they're not supposed to, or they look like Cthulhu's tentacles. Yeah. Let's just have fun with it. Well, yeah. I mean, you got them everywhere. It's just like the Fishers. It's a new area for scammers, just like the ones that still call up grandma and try to say there's something wrong with your computer. And
Yep.
No. You just gotta. In life, you gotta be careful. You gotta be ever vigilant. It's not safe out there.
No.
It isn't. Especially with robocalls anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and it never was. No, let's get that. Let's get that imaginatory fantasy land out of our heads. It never was. Does it mean that we should demand these stupid new laws like Scotland? No, it just means you're just ever vigilant.
No.
Don't fly off the handle. Don't be knee jerk.
Yeah. Look at the situation, assess the situation, and act accordingly.
Right. You see, have a lot of egg on your face for that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this is truly Patrick
This is
Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, and I wish to tell Phil McCracken that I hate him also.
Now that
No,
was really
but-
him. That was really him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, that was also created with AI. But how often do we even use it? Very rarely.
Well, yeah, when Phil's around, and he really grates us. But I saw a special, and Don Rickles' daughter dressed up like him and went out and tried to do a bit. I can't remember what about, but it was a bunch of it was just one of the things where comics would come out, and she was closing the act. I'm sorry, she wasn't good. She didn't sound like him. Didn't act. The jokes were falling flat. It didn't have Don Rickles' style, and this is his daughter.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but just because it's his daughter doesn't mean she's going to be able to pull it off.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So again, I don't know where I was going with that, but people have always gone out there tried to make fun, doing funny voices, trying to imitate voices. Look at Rich Little, John Biner, down the line, doing people's imitating people, their voices, doing it for radio shows, sound bites, entertainment. But this is definitely a different area because you can always kind of tell, oh, this isn't that person. These deep fakes can sound just like that.
They definitely can.
Yeah. I mean, Cash is an AI. People
No,
don't know that, but he is.
I'm a real person.
That's why there's the little emotion you hear from him. No, it's a monotone and dry and bland.
Yeah, sure. I told you, man. You're just upset because you can't get the forbidden donut. It's okay, Baron. It's okay.
See.
Yep. People already are using AI to do devious things.
Oh yeah.
We've already heard about it. Voiceover actors for anime, their voices were being used.
No.
Right.
That Skyrim thing and using.
You know what? I'm going to show everybody something. So, all content creators, I know you've seen this. So, I'm actually going to show something.
Is that X-Wing's butt, I hope?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay. I am going to show this. Because we do use the George Carlin clip. Soundbite. Alter content. Do any of the following describe your content? Make a real person appear to say or do something they didn't say or do. Because we use that sound clip. I call bullshit. Or this is Patrick Stewart, and I hate Phil McCracken also. I clicked yes.
Yeah.
I've got nothing to hide.
No.
I don't.
And again, we're not doing it like Will Sasso was doing, and
No.
others were probably. I bet you there were others waiting to see how this would come about. If this would be the floodgates are open now, we can do this. Especially with the way they started attacking her for no good reason, and now we have this. It's like, and she walks away with no money because really that's not what she wanted. But if it took them paying her money to stop, she'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I to think, George didn't, George brought up a young lady who knows how to do this stuff, and obviously take care. Yeah, it's just sad.
It is. It is. If they wanted to do the special using AI, they could have asked her.
Right. What's the worst that could have happened? No. Well, they don't want to hear no.
No.
Just plain and simple. I think deep down they knew that this wouldn't have floated with the family.
No.
The biggest shock, though, is 2008. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
16 years.
Yeah. I swear it still seems like yesterday.
It does. I mean, he was one of the greats. I'll still look up old George Carlin acts on YouTube just so I can get a laugh.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not the only one. Robin Williams. I'll
Mm-hmm.
look up his material too. Heck, I have a Robin Williams Live 2002 CD that I listen to every now and then.
Eddie Murphy back in the day.
Yeah.
He was doing that. Oh my God. What would
Eddie
they
Murphy
do if
Raw.
they played that? Yeah. What would they do if they aired that in Scotland now? Woo! Eddie Murphy could have sentenced to hang. You know.
Yeah.
But moving on to a different topic, and no, we're not going to break away to Rumble tonight.
Oh, we
Mm.
still love you, Rumble. Rumble, Rumble, Rumble.
We are going to talk about this article from Twisted Voxel, however you pronounce it. And it says Stellar Blade suffers from high input lag. Developer recommends enabling game mode on TVs. No, that's not a viable solution. That's not the appropriate solution. You need to fix the input lag. It's not because your TV's not set to game mode. Most newer TVs nowadays, anyway, will automatically go to the appropriate mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it says, go ahead, Baron.
I was gonna say it's not back in the day when you had the little thing you attached to the antenna leads in the back there, and you had to switch it back and forth if you're going to watch regular TV or if you're going to play your Atari. Yeah, televisions are a little bit smarter today. Yes, that ain't a bit.
Sony Interactive Entertainment and Shift Up's upcoming action adventure game, Stellar Blade, suffers from a high amount of input lag. No kidding. Using a high-speed camera, YouTuber Madeira Magusta performed an input lag test on the recently released Stellar Blade demo to measure the delay between controller input and the action beginning on screen. Based on their findings, the game suffers from 13.8 frames or 230 milliseconds of latency in performance mode, which is very high for a game that runs at 60 frames per second. They didn't factor in the inherent input delay on their display into the equation, however, which should be subtracted from the total in order to determine the actual game latency. Meanwhile, developer Shift Up addressed the issue on the official Stellar Blade Twitter X account. As per their recommendation, those who find controls to be slow to respond should enable game mode on their displays. They added that doing so will make the response more immediate. Again, my display was already on game mode. It's always on game mode, especially on the display I use to stream the games. And I still suffered input lag. It also said Digital Foundry's Alexander Badagalia, I don't know if I said that right or not, noted that Unreal Engine has a curious history of high input latency on PlayStation consoles for no good reason. He mentioned that a delay of 230 milliseconds would be particularly poor. Yes, it would, and yes, it was. Even for a game that runs at 30 frames per second. As per him, it's on the development team at Shift Up to fix the issue. Exactly. It's not up to us, the gamers, to be your testers. You are getting feedback from those of us who have played the demo. We are
Yep.
telling you there's input lag, serious input lag. It needs to be adjusted before this game comes out on the 26th of this month. You need to
Oh, it's just a
fix it.
scratch. It's
And if
nothing.
it means
It's nothing.
and if it means releasing a day one patch to fix it, do it.
Mhm.
Because if you fix this input lag, this game is going to be awesome. It's going to be one of those games I could see myself playing over and over again because it has a lot of potential. But what's holding it back is that input lag. It's unacceptable in this day and age. It's unacceptable for games to be broken upon release date, as was
Mhm.
experienced last year with Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
Well, let's take a look at Aspire with the Battlefront collection, which should have been the easiest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You know, we shouldn't have to accept subpar ports of games like we've seen with the Battlefront collection, and we shouldn't have to suffer from subpar releases of brand new games, brand new properties.
No,
Mhm.
that's why a lot of these games are just. It's hard to say if any of them are really worth $70, maybe, but still, I still think there's greed in there.
I don't think any game's worth $70. I don't care what these companies say. I don't think any game's worth $70.
I think if you're gonna really want to,
Have I
Go ahead.
purchased a $70 game? Yes, and I'm saying this
Mhm.
as someone who admits regretting making that $70 purchase again
Mhm,
with
mhm.
Jedi Survivor.
Right. Well, I mean, I broke my cardinal rule about not doing a pre-order because I figured, oh, this is a safe area with the Battlefront. It's like, no, okay, going back, bye.
Yep.
And when the Tomb Raider Remastered collection came out, I know it's
Mhm.
fixed now, but when it
Mhm.
released, there was a sound issue because you got no sound when you started the game. So I said, nope, I'm getting my money back.
Mm-hmm.
And he did.
Like I said, it's fixed now, and eventually I'll purchase the game, but I'm in no rush to do it right now.
Yeah, I just even stuff like with single player games, like yes, they can be like, oh, the microtransactions isn't the problem. That's fine, but still, should it be in there when you're already paying enough for the game? That's the question, and also other stuff that's going on with these games, and it's the DLC. Like, okay, are we getting a complete game without this DLC? Well, if you are, great. If you're not, and then they're like, oh, well, here's the DLC later for another $20 or something. Like, it's like, should this have been in the game already? So it's mostly the PC issue, of course, because console, but they keep doing this, and we're having these problems at launch still, where these games are an issue more so than even the console versions. So sometimes they can have problems too, like Mike ran into problems with the Stellar Blade game, and other people did too with the latency lag. But it's just, there's no excuse for this stuff. And if you want to charge $70, you should give people $70 worth of content.
Right.
And it's like
not release the base game and then say a few months later, oh, here's the first DLC for this game.
Yep. So I mean, that's why if you're really excited about a certain game, like when it was Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, a lot of people were excited about that. And go with the best version you can get, because even then it's like, do I want to pay $70 for the base game? That's the first version. I always want to make that clear. Or do you want to get the deluxe, or do you want to get the premium, or do you want to get this? But also, thank goodness for Game Pass and some of these other things. You can test out a lot of these games and see what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm going to do with the Indiana Jones game.
Me too.
Comes out. I'm going to test it on Game Pass. So I'm not going to, excuse me, put down any money on that game.
Nope.
Mhm.
except for what I'm paying for on my subscription for Game Pass.
Wise. Very wise. I mean, that's just it. I mean, people are calling now, and probably rightly so, Starfield a dead game, right?
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
you only have that base game and you're done. It's like, DLCs are great as modules to continue on. Not
Right.
necessarily do a money grab for skins or
Right.
whatnot. You get this shiny little skin. Well, what does it do in the game? Nothing, just makes it look shiny. No,
Right.
DLCs are great by, okay, we're going to have like the quest for this or the quest for that, like modules to the D&D. They should have
Mhm.
had that all planned and ready to go, and there should have been
Right.
one out already.
Exactly.
Mhm.
But it doesn't look like they want to do it. And it's like, well, those saying that it's a dead game, if they don't do anything about it, this game that does look fantastic, does have a lot of
Yeah.
potential, it's going to die.
Same with Stellar Blade. Yeah, the visuals are nice,
Mhm.
but I want something more than just eye candy.
Right.
I want to
You
know that when I start the game, I can actually
Right.
play the game.
Yep, you want solid gameplay. Graphics
Mhm.
are nice and stuff like that
Right.
is nice. And it's like, oh, they're doing something. Yeah, in your face, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But if there's other problems, then it's like, well, then there's still issues here that aren't fixed.
Yep.
So, yeah,
Right. And God bless the modders out there who do stuff to keep these things
yes,
going.
yes,
You have the modders for Fallout. You
That's
got
why
that Fallout.
Skyrim's still going because of
Right.
modders.
yep. I mean,
Right.
and Capcom limiting people recently and coming out and saying, oh, we're taking these mods out and actually making people start over games, even like Monster Hunter World, which I know of a friend who had that happen to him. He was happy to go through it again, but still, it's just ridiculous. Like the
Right.
modding community, you hurt by doing that stuff, Capcom, taking that away from people, that other option,
Mhm.
especially on PC. You can't do that stuff on
Mhm.
console, but you can on PC. So
Right.
Well,
don't take
And
that away.
what's Sony
Yeah.
gonna do when Spider-Man 2 is released on PC and you do see mods in that game, just like you saw mods for the first one?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. I mean, somebody already got you a unofficial patch, whatever, but it's like 200 and some gigs or whatever. What's up,
Right.
Andrew?
Hey,
Hey,
Mr. Canadian, good to see you, brother. It's been a
good
while.
day, eh? Mhm.
It has, yeah. Yeah, it's just this stuff is not acceptable, and it's just every company's got their problems, from Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft. They all just have different problems, but the modders help these things, and then you've got Nexus
Mhm.
Mods taking mods away. It's like, oh, this is
Right.
offensive. Then don't use the mod.
Right. Well, and then to continue on by saying, but no, God bless the modders out there. The thing
Right.
is these games, they shouldn't have to rely on the modders to keep the game alive. Yeah, add to it, add little things, what they want, but you should be still supporting it with new and exciting things.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Modders are great, but again, now you're using us to keep your game that you made alive.
Yep. And whenever you're talking about a game like a remake and stuff, and they take something out after they because it's the remake or some modern audience, or they're offended, or the media comes out and says, oh, I'm offended, or people on social media, whatever, it still means that I think because you took that scene out, you should lower your score. I don't care if you're even a professional reviewer, you should lower your score, because even if you're like, oh, this offends people, but you still took it out. You still altered it. Excuse me. You still altered the scene, and you didn't need to.
Right.
That's why I think whenever you're mentioning a game, if they altered something that's old, that's why I feel like anything coming back, guys, from Max Payne or whatever that comes back, they could alter this stuff, and it's like, no, that's going to
Mhm.
hurt the game. Same that I still worry a bit about Grand Theft Auto because of things that they've said. So, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. GTA 6 kind of nervous about that.
Mhm.
And
So-
that's not coming out till next year.
Right.
Mhm.
And is that going to be a $70 game? And it's just,
Oh, yeah.
it'll first come on console. It's just So all this stuff, and then other people like, oh, it worked out for me. Well, good for you. But what about all these other people it didn't work out for? Why doesn't this game run well enough on people's systems? Why do they have to buy a card that's $1,000 or something to run on some system? It's ridiculous. Like,
Right.
fix these
And-
problems. Yeah. At launch.
And next year it's going to be an $80 game. So no, it won't be a
Ugh.
$70 game. It's going to
You-
be.
you're-
I hope not.
I
It's
don't think you're
possible.
joking on that
Yeah,
front,
it's-
Baron.
No.
I really don't.
Yeah, well,
No, I'm slightly tongue in cheek, but there's a lot of seriousness in what I was saying there.
Because think about the layoffs that have been occurring in the gaming
Mhm.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
So
they've
because
caused- Mhm. Go
they have less overhead, that
Mhm.
means they're going to be having the people that they do have employed working on the games for who knows how many hours per day. And in order to make up money that they've lost, not just this year, but in previous years, they're going to raise the price again.
Mm-hmm. Well, dare I even utter those two letters, AI. Expect that creeping into the gaming industry.
Yep.
Faster than anything else. Faster than Hollywood and all that stuff. It's going to creep into the games even faster. Why? Well, it's a computer-based, thing. It's a computer game. So hey, we'll just run it through and then we'll do a polish afterwards, and then here you go.
Mm-hmm.
And Angry Canadian says, if you stream Stellar Blade, I am going to try to watch it. I don't have a PS5. As long as they fix the controls.
Mhm.
If they fix the controls. And actually, let me add another one to that. And the reviews are positive.
Mhm.
Then I will probably end up purchasing it at some point. But if the reviews aren't good, the controls aren't fixed, I
Mhm.
probably won't pick it up. But also, let's go ahead and add a third one.
Mm.
If I can get the game for a reasonable price.
Yeah. These days and age, yeah, that's the important thing now. Can we get it at a good price? Because let's face it, our wallet book. I don't know about your guys' wallet books, but I know mine is hurting.
Yeah.
Mine's hurting with things going up.
Yeah.
Well, it's just even when you're excited about something, they're like, "Oh, well, we censored this, 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 and this, or we did this, 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 and this," and it's like, "Oh, but this game is very popular. Who cares?" Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't matter, because if you're just not interested in it, you're just not interested in it. And people can tell you, "Oh, you got to buy this." It's like, no, I really don't. I don't see as much excitement with newer games now, because even Grand Blue Fantasy, I'm like, "Oh, that looks cool." Oh, well, we censored certain things. Well, why?
Well,
Like, why'd you do this?
the last two games I was excited about was Dark Forces, Winter, and of course, yeah. But notice these are old games.
Yeah, they're old. But did you know that I found out recently they took the ashtray out of Dark Forces? What the fuck? Why do you guys do these things? It's
I
not
don't know.
noticeable. Oh boy.
Catherine's going to have a smoke, and it's like, where did I put this?
I mean, if it's
Where'd
part of
the
the
ashtray go?
character, I want the
Yeah, I know.
ashtray, right?
Mhm.
It's stupid. It's just, yeah. I just, it's just like the funny things that people say about Nintendo. Oh, those games are horrible. It's like, well, why do you think the Switch sells? Because there's games on there, even if it's a lot of Mario or it's Princess Peach or whatever.
Mhm.
They're fun, and they keep
Yeah.
trying to reinvent the wheel. Good for them.
Mhm.
Well,
Well-
Angry Canadian brings it up here. Princess Peach Showtime is not a $60 game. 40 max.
There you go.
I beat it in 5 hours. Yeah.
Right. Yep.
You shouldn't have to pay $60, $70 for a game that you're going to beat in 5 hours.
Exactly.
Mhm. Right.
yeah, a lot of these games aren't even worth $60 anymore because they just don't have $60 worth of content. And people are like, oh, yeah, people will say to other people they're cheap. It's like, no, it's like you should get the best for your money. It doesn't matter if it's a video game or whatever. I mean, that message is not pushed enough. Even on YouTube, it's not pushed enough that you should get the best for your money.
Well, I don't care being called cheap. It's like, well, I guess it's
Right.
because I want to make sure I have more common sense than
Yeah.
money. Unlike other people that have more money than common sense. It's like, oh, yeah, that's no problem. Just buy it. It's like, well, yeah, there's something called bills. The whole thing called adulting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm. There's a lot of things I'd like to get, but I got to hold myself back.
Right. I mean, where is all the excitement from Sony? There even this year Nintendo, there's some good stuff, but this is not even like the PS4 or even before PS3 or PS2 or Dreamcast or a lot of this stuff. Like, where is all the excitement? I'm still waiting. And so there's all these layoffs. Oh, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. But I really believe a lot of these developers and companies and whatever, they're all connected. They've done it to themselves.
Really, they have.
They really have.
Mhm.
And yes, it sucks when people lose their jobs. I'm not saying it doesn't, but
No.
still, a lot of the main companies with their direction, they went away from what made their companies great. I mean, look at where Activision Blizzard is. Sure, they'll make money, tons of money on stuff with Call of Duty, but even people who still play Call of Duty are like, they've changed this game. It's like, yeah, they've changed Gran Turismo. I don't know what they're going to do with Grand Theft Auto. I hope they still go in the same direction of this game is politically incorrect and always supposed to be. But
Mhm.
who knows? Who knows? It's crazy. This stuff doesn't
Yeah, I
even
mean,
change.
it's called Grand Theft Auto.
That's
You're
right.
a criminal.
That's
It's
right.
like-
Seriously. Yeah, so, but I don't really see all this excitement that people are talking about. Oh, all these great games come out. There's some, sure, but
Mhm.
there's not as much as there has been in the past. And then they're telling you these games are still like $70. What, like Suicide Squad? Sure, if you played it,
Mhm.
great. If you somewhat enjoyed it, fine. But why? You see already the gameplay. You see the cutscenes. You see this game was a failure. Even this Joker thing that's come out is a failure. And it's easy to bash on stuff like Suicide Squad, but there's even other RPG games where there's like Grand Blue Fantasy. It's like, oh, well, we censored this. You're just going to have to accept it. Well, I'm going to have to use a mod because of this. Same with, what was it, Mass Effect Legendary Collection. It just like, oh, we have to alter this of Miranda. It's like, no, you don't. But you need a mod to add this. It's like, this is stupid. So I'm going to
Well-
wait for this to go on be a cheaper price, and then maybe it'll make more sense.
Well, I mean, let's give a little bit of praise where praise is due. Make it sound like we're not trying to be so negative here, but
Right.
Space Marine 2, right? It's now
We're
been
looking forward to
delayed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking forward. I'm looking big, but the thing is, it's been delayed. Why? There's issues we need to fix.
Right.
Bravo! I'm gonna
Good.
hate having to wait another year. I am,
Right.
but at least I know
I'd rather
that
wait
you
another
guys
year
care.
knowing that they're going to take the time to fix the issues that they're having.
Yeah, fix
Instead
the
of-
issues. Right.
Again, releasing the game to the public and having us be their beta testers.
Right.
And right, I agree with you, Baron. It's not that the whole industry is like a dumpster fire, but most of it
no.
is, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And we're still getting some games that are coming out that are like, oh, this actually looks really good. But then we get a lot of other stuff. It's like, why are these ports still so bad? And you guys don't care. It's like, this is ridiculous.
Right. I mean, look at that Star Trek game, Resurgence. Boom. I mean, what they're doing with Space Marine 2 is you want to give these guys a not the what's it, is it the Shirk or whatever that's doing it. I don't know who's doing it, but I'm not saying that. But the other developers where you slap them behind the head, going, "See, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
That's how you do it."
And once again, whoever you are, like, it doesn't matter how big your channels are or not big, but you want to put out information. Like, yeah, it may seem very negative at times, but the industry a lot of the times lately, especially, they do it to themselves. So it's not like you're not
Yep.
putting out good information out there. But yeah, you tell people, hey, I'm excited about this game. Check this game out. But also, if they alter a scene, don't let them get away with it. It's like, oh, they didn't need to do this, but they did it anyways, even if you enjoy the game. But like, you need to point these things out all the time. I think it's important.
When you
And,
have something that's going to be a remaster,
I've had people say, Mike, you don't have to read the whole freaking article every time. And I've told them, a lot of times I'm reading this article for the first time myself. So I'm getting the information at the same time everybody else is.
Right.
And if I'm going to give folks information, then I'm going to make sure they get all of it. Just
Mhm.
like Angry Canadians asking, I know I'm late. What started this video game? Sorry. The pollen. Sorry, I mean nuts.
Yeah, I'll answer that. What started this? Well, it's simple. It was cash money going out there and doing.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Anytime a gaming thing starts up, you know it's because of cash money.
No, it's because
So we were talking about this article. I brought up my own experience playing the demo, and the long story short is that the developer doesn't want to admit that there's an issue with the input latency.
Right. You get the feeling, or actually, this is not a feeling; it's the actual fact. They are more worried about their reputation being hurt because something's going to come out late than the fact that they're putting something out crap. Because somehow they think they have you buffaloed.
Yep.
You're going to take it. You're going to take it. We gotten away with this before. We can do it again.
Yep.
And the thing is with the prices going up, like they shouldn't be going up the way they are in this economy, people are taking note. And it's like, I only have so much to spend. I'd rather spend it on something I know is going to be good on day one. Yeah, I mean, everything's got a problem coming out. Everything does. And usually they're quick to have that little patch or whatever to fix it. Not a DLC, a patch, right?
Yep. And exactly. And also it's just like when people are like, oh, they're only playing these games because of nostalgia, because of this, or this game didn't age well, or this and that. Like, it's really funny to me. It's like, it didn't age well, yet so many people are still playing it. People are still playing Doom 2 to this day.
Yeah. There's a reason why these games are being played, because they're good games. Because again, they're timeless games in many ways. And that's what you have to do. That's why doing the trendy thing, like, that's not going to have people going later on going, hey, I want to revisit that game. I really miss that fur. No. The reason why these games, and Vermintide 2, I mean, that's an older game. Look how much fun we're having with it, right?
Yes.
Or even Darktide. When I can get Darktide again, my apology. I'm going to get that soon. But because I love playing that game. And they had problems. They fixed it. Boom. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, they're putting out DLC things for a Vermintide still. I mean, you can be a necromancer now. I haven't picked it up yet, but I'm very tempted to. It's just not a class I normally play, but
And Canadian, it's not just our issues with the input latency on Stellar Blade. It's also the recent release of the Battlefront collection.
Yeah,
where that was a mess. Dating back to last year, again, Jedi Survivor. That was a mess.
Of people had problems,
especially for PC players like myself. And even in this article, they point out that unfortunately the developer either isn't aware of the issue, they are, or doesn't find it to be as such. They're ignoring the issue. They don't think it's that big of a deal.
Right. I mean, I'm a realist.
Enabling game mode on TVs, modern HDMI controls automatically switch the display picture mode to one that is best suited to the device it is connected to, as I already mentioned. And previously, during the interview with Famitsu, Stellar Blade director Kim Hyun Tai mentioned that Stellar Blade will not include a photo mode at launch. According to him, the studio is currently focused on polishing the title. However, he added that if there are sufficient requests from players to include the mode, the development team will try its best to respond to them. Worry more about the controls and forget about a stupid photo mode.
Right.
Right. Yeah, it's just the gameplay has to be solid, especially if you want wanting people to. This game should be what? A hack and slash. This should be about 8 hours, then you can do other stuff. This should be an 8 to 10 hour game if you're going to charge $70. I mean, there needs to be, because I'm guessing this game will be $70 or more with tax. So.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I already looked it up. I'll even show everybody.
And I'm guessing Mike wouldn't even have a PS5 if something didn't happen to his PS4. So,
yeah, I mean, Mike's just
I
walked in and he was passed out on the floor because he saw the price. Had to do CPR, got him going again because it was just too much of a shock to the system.
No, yeah, turned into the Human Torch and it was over.
I still have games for PS4 that I haven't finished yet, and I want to finish them.
Me too.
I've seen your game list, Cash. There's a lot of games you need to.
I have a lot of stuff to finish.
Same here.
Yeah, it happens. It becomes
Yeah, no,
more of
I
a
need to-
collection than anything else.
I need to start playing that RoboCop because I just love seeing that. But, no more games that do that.
Mm-hmm.
69, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Not the kind of 69 I want.
No,
Mm-hmm.
but you are getting screwed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
But see, this is why I wanted to play the demo.
Mhm.
I know a certain Orca boy can rightfully bring up. You played the demo for RoboCop. You didn't like the demo for RoboCop because of the controls, and he played the full game. Well, they fixed the controls in RoboCop before the release.
Yeah.
They even released another patch because they found another issue shortly after release that fixed it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been slacking on that one, Vor. I'll admit that, but I did finish Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I put a lot of time into that. So.
And I've given credit for letting me know that the full game plays a lot better than the demo did.
Mm-hmm. True.
But remember,
he's the one that convinced me.
Well, remember, I was the one that's trying to walk you off the ledge the first place, saying, "Hey, it's a demo.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, off the ledge. Come on, everything's good."
No, you were the one saying, "I'll buy that for $1."
Yeah, I'm down on the ground with the popcorn, going, "Jump, jump!"
No.
And that's another thing too is be careful with your demos going up because that can be a game breaker.
Right, and it's good to also if you want to stream the demo. I mean, like I said, and people be it's not the exact representation of the game, blah blah whatever nonsense. It's like, dude,
yeah. So
it if the demo isn't good, then you guys got to fix some things, but. This whole thing with these launch problems on PC is just outrageous. And the Battlefront 2 thing is outrageous. And the fact that there's some YouTubers out there who are defending it and say, isn't this the game you wanted?
No.
Well, we have a complaint when it comes to Contra Operation Galuga.
Yes.
It doesn't have online multiplayer, or at least online co-op.
It needs that. It needs that badly.
That didn't sound right. Galuga.
That's what it's called.
That's what it's called.
I know. I'm just saying. It just doesn't sound right. I got your Galuga right here.
Some folks would like it to look a little bit more and sound more like classic Contra. I don't blame them.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what we were expecting. Again, don't be the trendies and tell us old timers that we don't our voice doesn't matter. That what we like doesn't matter. We're the ones that supposedly have some money.
You know, right, right, exactly.
I mean,
And
I
you know,
don't, but you know.
even stuff like RPG games, if there's certain things in there, I'm just not going to buy it. Oh, but it's so popular and it won all these awards. I don't care. Am I supposed to care about that? I once again, where was Hogwarts Legacy? Oh, that's right. That game needed to be shunned because of political reasons. Sure.
Mhm.
Right. It made so many people happy, sold over 20 million units, but you're right, or 20 million copies or whatever.
Mhm.
But you're right. Definitely, it needed to be shunned in any category that there's up for awards.
Well, I mean, Animos was happy with it. I mean, waving it around, it wand around there and pressing, you know.
Right. The devs will fix it eventually, and that's been like a theme for the last few years. They'll fix it
Mhm.
eventually. Great.
Yeah, when we get to it.
Fantastic. Right. When we get to it.
I'm
But
sorry, we got
we'll
everybody working
still-
on a new
we
game.
we got our money. Go fuck yourself, basically. Like, great.
Yeah, which was basically Aspire, what they were basically saying at first.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And there have been games that have been recommended to me, and I've tried them, and they're just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Breath is just a perfect
Exactly.
example.
Mm-hmm.
And for anyone who plays Breathage and knows what the game's about, and you enjoy it, you know, all power to you. It's just not my type of game.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking about, you know, things are popular, right? Oh, come on, it's popular. It's popular. I just have to remind people the hard truth polar bear. It's like just because someone's famous or a product is famous doesn't mean it's a good person or good product. Boom. And sort of poopus does it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if it's popular.
Mike, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't care if things are popular or not.
No.
I mean, Lord knows
No.
there's a lot of things I find popular. I mean,
Yeah.
like it's not popular, but probably never will be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just funny. It's just like the same arguments, or different arguments, like the one about people. There's that Nintendo shit again. And I'm like, oh, it's shit. Have you actually played it? Have you played any of these games? Oh, it's just for kiddies. It's for kids. It's for this. I'm like, Why is it so popular then? Like, why do you get so many hours out of these? Just it's a Mario game. Why do you get so many hours out of it though? Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so what if it's a
Mario's
kid's game?
still a draw.
Exactly.
There are certain games that are appealing to everybody.
Right. And that's just it. I mean, so what if it's a kid's game? It's fun. You enjoy yourself. That shouldn't be, again, you guys are being the hypocrites because these are the same word. You're using the same words that were used against you.
Mm-hmm.
Good job. You now become what you despised. Right.
Yep.
And, look at all the people who play Lego Star Wars. You mean to tell me Lego Star Wars isn't a kid's game? But look at all the adults that play it.
They do.
What about all the adults that like to play Fortnite?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do.
Nothing wrong
I don't
with that.
know about it.
That's a game that's not really my cup of tea, but
it's Fortnite though.
For those who like,
I was just reading that Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft are some of the most successful games that are still going around. And somebody says, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I laughed my ass off.
Well, I mean, really honest.
It was, but Minecraft, I mean, if you enjoy building, it's still there though. I will say Microsoft took away some of those modding and stuff because remember with the Java version, we could mod all this cool shit all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the thing though, is what's so great about Minecraft. I mean, you have different versions, variations of the game you can play in there, from safe mode to survival mode and really hard one. But the thing is, it teaches creativity.
Yes,
because
it does.
just like you said, it's the building even more so than Fortnite because just because you're jumping around throwing boards down.
Right. Well, they took that away. They took away the building stuff. I don't think it's there anymore. As far as
I don't know. I should ask my daughters; they play it. And, let them, but talk about the creativity you have behind that. My daughters still play Minecraft and build in there. And occasionally I'm hearing them when they're in earshot, and then now it's kind of hard because they live a few miles away. But it's like, did you take my stuff out of my? Oh yeah, I did. Well, I might have. It's like, okay, settle it. It's Minecraft. No, you don't understand.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's funny.
But true. It's right, but true. I mean, so I don't care if it's a kid's game. If it's fun, play it.
Right. Yeah, I understand that angry. I'm not hating on these games. I just always laugh.
No.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore. It's just so dramatic. It's funny.
Well, I can understand a Fortnite. No, I'm kidding. I jest. I get it's not my thing. I tried playing it with my kids, and I don't know. I wasn't getting anywhere.
I mean,
I sold for it, I guess.
The fact that Epic Games survived a $500 million lawsuit against Fortnite is still impressive to me. I'm like, wow, that's something.
Yeah.
Because of the whole gambling thing with the kids and it got out of hand. And yeah, that was a massive lawsuit like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
They still survived that. So that's really something. It really is.
But I mean, again, look at the DLCs. Oh, spend all this money so you can look a certain way or this shiny new thing. Does it improve the game? No, but you can look like Mr. T.
Yeah.
Who's Mr. T?
Well, there's still too many battle royales. I mean, we're even getting I don't know. There's just too many of them there. I feel
right.
I don't know. I've thought about playing Fortnite many times, Baron, but I'm like, no, I better just stay away.
Well, I just don't like the fact that it pushes you so fast. I understand you want to get people, into the next whatever, but I mean, if you're going to do a battle royale proper, I mean, at least that Sword Art Online 2 was doing it the proper way. It's like, you're not being that constraint of time.
Right.
That way you actually have the best fighting. And I did finish at least the gun one, and now going into the other part of that season. I liked it, by the way. I liked it. But
I had fun with us playing. Jace joined us, Prismatic joined us. Was Party Animals.
Yeah,
Pata Wannabe joined us for that too.
That was a lot.
I hate that game. I didn't win one. I hate that game. I hate that.
Well, Barrett, we were on the same team.
Yeah. I'm a sore loser, though. Not like you. I'm a sore loser. Not like Jace. Oh, my God. Was he a sore loser? Yeah.
Cursing at everybody.
Lego Fortnite. Oh, God. What you know who really was letting the game get to him? Our own very own Cash Money on that Vermintide. You can hear every time the blood vessel getting closer and closer to popping. We're gonna do it.
That is why I said to him, I said, Cash, we're doing our best. We're giving it our all.
You're not doing enough. You wimps. Amateurs.
This is no behind the scenes secret. We said it on stream.
Yep.
We know that they've changed the difficulty. Before, when we would play on that difficulty, we would do fine. Now, ever since a few updates, since we hadn't played the game in a while, they've increased the difficulty. But somebody
doesn't believe that.
Yeah.
Someone's in denial. Heavy dose of denial.
It's possible. I just feel like
it's possible.
I just feel like we're just doing something wrong, like we're not moving fast enough or something.
Come on, Cash. We've been doing it for 3 weeks.
I know. 3 weeks. We've been doing it for more than 3 weeks.
I know.
Well, I'm just going. We've been doing for that. By that time, we're back into our old self.
Even right, and even when we were training and recruit, it did seem like it did get harder too. So
that was still hard. Yeah, I mean that was still heaven help us.
They're not fucking around with that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, but yeah, what is it? The assassin rat, the Joker rat.
Oh,
They
yeah,
all
the-
bring it all at once.
They all
right
they
there.
all
Every
get us
time
at
the
one
horde
point
comes,
or another.
the horde
Yeah.
comes every
and
time.
let's not forget
It's
the
like,
leech.
fucking hell.
Let's not
Yes.
forget the
Uh-huh.
I
I mean, it's a hard game. Good.
yeah.
But now we just
we're
got to
all-
convince Cash that it's gotten harder. They upped it, and it's like no.
I know it's
You
a hard
ignorant.
game.
You ignorant.
I know it's
You
a hard game.
ignorant.
I'm like,
Well, so is Dark Tide. That
Ma-
can get oof.
mhm.
Make better decisions. That's what Cash likes to tell me. Stop
Yeah, I think he does
rambling,
it.
Mike.
Yeah.
Goes.
And then
for
what happens?
in the
He
team,
runs
yeah.
ahead. He's the dwarf. He's playing elf, but he plays the dwarf. It's like,
Yeah,
where's
that
Cash?
That
he
one
just ran
game I
ahead.
ran ahead a little bit just to
Oh
see
my
if I
God.
could take some
One?
of those out. Yeah.
One?
Yeah. If it wasn't for me that quickly
It's,
figured out that you did that and ran to save your butt.
It was all right. It's okay if we
No.
die. It's just I want to see why we were running into problems, but we've improved. So we'll get it done. Act 5, we'll get it done. We're almost there.
Open up the dictionary, look for obsession. You'll see Cash's magnificent chin there.
The next Vermintide 2 stream, Cash is gonna make an announcement. Yeah, Barrett and Mike won't be here tonight. I've traded them for players to be named later.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing you want to do, you want to tune in Fridays for those Vermintide just to hear Cash yell at us. You just hear him yelling at us. It's like, you guys, come on, you goobers.
No, I gotta be as supportive as I can. That's funny though.
Yeah, we know you're supporting.
Yeah. And then I started cursing up a storm.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's easy to curse in that game, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
But all the times he calls us a mayfly too. I mean, geez.
You know what I'd like to do with my sword right now, since you called me a mayfly again.
Yeah,
Bite the
I
pillow,
mean,
it's going in dry.
but that's an example of a game that's functional. They're trying to work on it. I know sometimes people get disconnected, but it's still running a lot better than
Sometimes.
some of this stuff. Yeah, well, sometimes.
Maybe.
Well, I think that's more Mayberry internet, but that's me. That's
Yeah.
nice.
So,
Take care, angry Canadian. Thank
all
you
right,
for
angry.
stopping by, brother.
Talk to you later, bro.
Yep. No, Konnichiwa was high. I'm trying to forget. Sayonara, angry Canadian. See, I did the Japanese and the Canadian there. See, I'm multilingual, folks.
Oh boy.
Sayonara,
For
eh?
attention again.
Sure you are, Baron. Sure you are.
He's looking for attention again. Dang it, Baron.
Yeah. And now I'm going to get canceled because someone's going to sit back and say I was mocking them. Only the Canadians. I was only mocking the Canadians.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But speaking of Warhammer, this is our last article for the evening.
All right.
Woo.
We had this article from comicbook.com, and it says Warhammer Age of Sigmar reveals first 4th edition miniature. Warhammer Age of Sigmar's first new 4th edition miniature is a Stormcast Eternal. Yes.
We don't have those in Vermintide.
We should. We should.
Well, because we're not Age of Sigmar. That's after.
I know, but I'm just saying we should.
We should. Okay. I want a Space Marine then.
Later,
Imagine
brother.
what I could- Oh, yeah. Take care. Can you imagine what I could do to a Skaven with a Terminator? Oh,
Ooh, that'd be fun.
oh.
Warhammer Age of Sigmar is kicking off its new edition with a familiar miniature. Today, Games Workshop revealed the first miniature in its upcoming Warhammer Age of Sigmar starter patch box, not pack, Mike, and not patch either, which will help usher in the game's brand new 4th edition. Perhaps unsurprisingly, the first miniature is of Stormcast Eternal's Liberator, which make up the rank and file of the popular faction. The Liberators, like other members of the Stormcast Eternals, are human souls reforged as elite warriors by the god Sigmar and sent to various realms to fight against the forces of chaos and destruction. While the Liberators have been around since the earliest edition of Age of Sigmar, these new miniatures feature the larger Thunderstrike armor that first debuted in 3rd edition. You can check out the video reveal of the new Stormcast Eternals Liberator build. Excuse me, sorry. Below, it does say the Stormcast Eternals will be one of the 2 factions featured in Age of Sigmar's first starter box, alongside the Skaven race of chaos tainted rat people. Yes, we fight them all the time, don't we, gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, always.
Always.
That vile vermin who have thrust their blight city demiplane into the realm of. Help me out, Baron.
Oh, I don't know. Where's the word?
Akshi?
Oh,
I'm making guesses here.
Akshay? I don't know. I mean, when it comes around to the Age of Sigmar, I'm not that knowledgeable, to be honest. Yeah, I know. I've been seeing the Steam telling me that you've been playing.
Yes, I know you have. I promise I will try to do some upgrading before Friday's stream. Anonymous. All right, so it says many of the Skaven still have miniatures that date back to Warhammer Fantasy, so it makes sense that Games Workshop is using the new edition to refresh the army and bring the classic foes into the proverbial spotlight. Warhammer Age of Sigmar. I'm sorry, I like talking like that.
Yeah,
Is the fantasy. Yeah, is the fantasy themed cousin of Warhammer 40K with similar focus on army versus army combat. Players build an army from one of the 20 factions, customizing them with both weaponry, spells, and heroes. The new edition of Warhammer Age of Sigmar will feature a reworked modular rule set with various game modes using parts of the rules. One new game mode is Spearhead, which features pre-built armies and simplified rule set that takes approximately 1 hour to play. I expect to see more Warhammer Age of Sigmar reveals in weeks ahead. And we're going to take a look at the video.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we have to worry about any copyright claims or anything, but
this Games
I'll deal with it later.
Okay.
Could you hear that?
Yep.
Okay, wanted to double check. I don't know about you guys. I wouldn't mind just having it as a display piece.
Oh yeah, I mean those miniatures look really nice. But the only thing that goes through my mind is, they're just doing the Primaris routine with it, because talking about bigger model, which the Primaris are. And of course, changing. I don't know if they're going to be changing the rule sets. They're talking about changing the rule sets for those, so make people more advantageous to want to go and use those instead of the old stuff. I don't know. I mean, again, I don't play it.
And Anonymous has something to add. Cash, I played that level on Veteran the other day, and we kind of breezed through it. Then I played it again later that day, and it was 3 times as hard.
Oh my.
Oh, so you're playing with Cash. Okay.
No.
It depends on the level of the team, so that's Anonymous's way of telling us scrubs to level up.
As I was sitting back saying,
It's always good.
one
to
thing we
level
did,
up.
yeah, I mean, one thing we did have when we were playing the other times, it was just the 3 of us. The guy who was playing the dwarf would come in and be like, double digits higher than us,
Yeah, that's
like,
true.
they were like 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever. And it's like, okay. And of course, they're running ahead. It's like, leave some for me, please.
Yeah.
I want to kill something too. In the game, YouTube, in the game. But it's going to be interesting to see, though, now that you got Warhammer, the old world coming back, because I know what a lot of people for Warhammer, the original one, basically the granddaddy, not a cousin, but the grandfather, or the father, I should say, of Warhammer 40K, because that was out first. That they were upset with this Age of Sigmar. They didn't want Age of Sigmar 40K'd, which they basically did. Now they're coming back with this, and so what they're doing, they're playing with their old rules, the old books that they had. They weren't buying any of the new stuff. Now you got the old world coming up. How much is that going to affect Age of Sigmar? Will you have people who are playing Age of Sigmar doing both, going back, not going that way? It's going to be interesting to see that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I hung around the Games Workshop store that's in our area. And, there were people that weren't happy with Sigmar.
Oh,
And,
look, it's Baron Armentag again.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the guy was very friendly coming in. He knew I was going to spend something, so of course he
Throws
was.
the can at his head.
Yeah. That's our Minnesota greetings that we have here. Yeah, that's why we have hard heads, from the beginning. It's usually a beer can, eh? Oh, yeah. You're going in there and somebody throws a can of grain melt at you. We call it brain melt, but it's grain melt. And sometimes, if they're really nice, they'll actually drink it first before they throw it at you, eh?
Well, let me guess. They didn't usually drink it when they threw it at your head.
No, but at least I had something to drink afterwards, So I had to wait a little bit so it, wouldn't explode in my face. I would usually just open the can their correction. Having that brain melt, eh? Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now that they're bringing the old world back. What that's going to do with Warhammer? I think that was a wise move for them. I don't know if Sigmar was truly did what they wanted to do. I think what they were trying to do is get Warhammer 40K people involved, but by doing so, you kind of destroyed a game that so many people loved. It didn't feel like it needed to be changed.
Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
You're messing with the formula in that case, and
right. Now, granted, I know you guys are wanting to try new things and such. That's fine, but sometimes, sometimes people think a little too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if it's not broken, why are you fixing it?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Or introduce something new. Well, they did, but by doing so, they got rid of the other. So, just like when the Primaris Space Marines came out, a lot of people were not happy about that, and still aren't. Because I don't like the Primaris because I just don't like the way they look. But people have a problem with the lore. People have a problem with the fact that the stats and they have their old armies, and if they're trying to play their old armies now, they're severely outgunned now, and they don't like that, which understandable. It's like, well, okay, fine, then get your Primaris squad going. I don't want to get Primaris. I already spent enough money.
Mm-hmm. So, you're not Mr. Dot Rocks.
Yeah, exactly. It's again, it's like they have this notion that it's gamers or people in the hobby, any hobby, have bottomless pits, and at one time maybe we did. We don't know.
No.
especially us older ones. We were young when we were spending that. We had more money than common sense when we were younger. Now we're a little older, and we see the pile of bills that come in every month. And it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to get that game. I guess I'm not going to buy that book. I'm not going to buy that game book. I'm not going to buy that miniature.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, this is broken. That is broken. Got to get that fixed.
Right. And of course, Games Workshop, of course, is been accused, and rightly so, of really hiking the prices of the product up. It's like more expensive than it should be. And you have those out there that are making, like, quote unquote third party. They're like what they have in there, but they're not. So, they can't call them Space Marines or whatever. But you know what we're talking about. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And of course, you want to play tournament, you can't play that. But a lot of people don't necessarily want to play tournament. They'll buy the cheap stuff so they can play the game. I know there's a lot of money that flows with those tourneys, but not everybody that's involved with this hobby is interested in doing that.
That's true.
So
that is also true.
It's time for some people to have a little soul searching now, and to see how they want to continue on with this. And the problem, and now it's up to you to fix it. And don't be arrogant and think, wish it away, or think that we will cave in and buy it or whatnot.
Don't be like Shift Up and say, when it comes to Stellar Blade, you just have to switch your TV from this mode to this mode. No, don't be like that. I don't care what the product is. If you're going to put out a product, make sure that it works the way it's supposed to work. If it's mechanical, if it's a cleaning product, make sure it cleans the way you say it's going to clean.
Right. Like Poof. You see those commercials?
Yeah, I've seen always.
Now you know. Of course, he sprays himself in the mouth, and I've noticed they added something now to those commercials. It's not to be used as a mouth, whatever. It's like, oh God, it's like people see that, and I can just, see them spraying in their mouth, and oh God. But I'm a realist and realize that you can play test hard and think you got everything in the game taken care of. It goes out, and then someone finds something. Well, I understand that. That's any game. Again, it's technology, computers. Computers are never wrong. Computers never led us astray, have they? No.
Oh no,
not at all.
Never. Why does a computer lie to us?
Right, exactly. Look at Cash. I mean, he's a computer. But
I don't think
when
so,
it comes down to it, it's like, well, they find out and they get a patch. Again, a patch, not a DLC, that gets sent out to fix it.
That's right.
And and sometimes it's us that catches that when it gets game. But then again, we're not being the guinea pig. It's already been guinea pigged.
Yep.
But now we found one of the side effects to the drug that the guinea pig didn't detect. So now we got to change the formula a little bit, and here you go. Have fun.
That's true.
It's not that there's a problem; it's how you take care of the problem.
Yep.
And you have these companies now that have that attitude. If we admit there was a problem, we're admitting wrong. It doesn't look good towards us.
Yep.
Well, the thing is stepping up and saying, "Hey, yeah, we have a little issue. We're working on it. We're going to get it done fixed." Gives you a lot more credibility than let's sweep it under the carpet.
That's right.
Didn't happen.
Even if you have to say we don't have a time frame as to when it's going to be fixed, but we are working on addressing the issue.
Yeah. Yep. Don't be like Germany, where it's like 1939 to 1945, nothing happened. It's step up, man up, and we know that you truly are working on it. It's that, again, that's not lip service. There's a big responsibility to you. Hey, Paul, the big responsibility, and we're entrusting. We're giving you trust in that, and you start breaking it. Then why should we buy your product?
They'll sense them buying the product if the company shows that they don't care.
Right. It might look cool as hell, but I'm not going to play something that's broken before I get a chance to break it. I want to break it, damn it.
No, that's why I send you that email and you're like, oh, what's this? Like, no, it's like,
you got it. So, yeah, I mean, Warhammer Games Workshop, I think, needs to do a little soul. What are they going to do to keep it? I know it's still a big thing. I know it's a big thing, but it could be in danger of suffering because things are going up in price.
Yeah. Well,
I looked. I looked to see what a Sisters of Battle army would be. It's like, oh my God, it's jumped to $10 more now. Oh my! The regular Space Marines have jumped $10.
Yeah. Well, Games Workshop also there's a video out there that one of my friends showed me. I think it was last year, the year before. No, I think it might have been last year. They were attacking people for streaming their games. Some of their games. It's ridiculous, Baron.
It's called free advertising.
Yes, it is. But there was a video about it. It was crazy. I'm like, why are they doing this? They don't seem to care about Vermintide, and I'm sure they obviously, or Darktide, but there's some other Warhammer games that people have streamed that they care about. That there's some problem. It's crazy.
I don't know. It's called listening to your lawyers instead of the people who are part of promotion.
Hopefully they're not doing that stuff anymore. It's just stupid, man.
Well, it is. You know what? You want people to watch because this is going to be the thing that brings more people in. It is free advertising. You're not dropping a red cent. In fact, it's the best advertising you can get. They paid for it. You're getting paid for them to advertise for you. Go for it. But there might be someone who's
a lot of these companies, unfortunately, don't see it that way.
No, because they listen to lawyers. It's lawyer filled. They don't listen to their promotions, and they listen to the lawyer.
No,
and that only hurts. It only hurts. And it's something that should come to an end. I mean, but they might say something bad about my game. Well, they do already.
Yep. Seriously.
Well, there are going to be people that's not going to like it. Get over it.
Because let's relate it to what we're doing right now, live stream. There are people that are going to like a particular stream. There are going to be people that are going to come by and they're not going to like it for whatever reason.
Right.
True.
I didn't like this stream, so I downvoted it. I don't know. That Baron guy is not living up to. He's not living up to. You got to do something about that Baron. He's not doing it, man. He's not doing it. I mean, that cash money is actually shining more than him.
It still shows interaction.
Right. And no, I didn't do that, folks. I'm kidding. Before people think I was serious. Animos is going, oh, great. Now I can do it. I've been wanting to do this ever since he started talking about Hogwarts. And that Animos. You get what you deserve. Get off my plate.
Okay, Harrison Ford. But gentlemen, it is almost 9:30 here on the East Coast, so 8:30 on the Central Time Zone, and on the West Coast it's almost 6:30. So let's say we start winding down.
All right.
Oh, you just don't. You got a year older, and now it's like, okay, I gotta go get my Geritol now and my crackers and go to bed. Warm milk. Gotta have my warm milk now.
These graham crackers.
Actually,
don't
mock
graham
good, man.
crackers,
They're good, man. They're good.
Hey, I just found, and I didn't realize the other week I bought some graham crackers, the cinnamon covered ones.
Oh,
I already had some. Yeah. But
There
the
you
best
go.
thing to do is get a glass of milk and you dip them and then you eat them. And it's like,
Yes,
oh,
that is good. It's
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. What, I know I might do that later.
I've done that with the cinnamon ones, but you know what I do with the honey ones?
Hmm.
I'll put a little peanut butter on them.
Oh, you know what my
Nice.
grandmother? You know what my grandmother used to do is put frosting on it. Make basically graham cracker sandwiches, and you can if you want chocolate or white frosting or whatever vanilla, it doesn't matter. Strawberry, you can put it between there, and you have yourself graham cracker sandwich. Now,
Mm-hmm.
now you didn't hear this from me, but I sometimes have this habit. Sometimes I like to just buy a thing of frosting and just eat the frosting. But you didn't hear that from me. And of course, my wife jumps on me a little bit about that. Give me ruffles. I said, no. This time I did get the frosting for a reason. I said, it's really right here. Make the graham cracker sandwiches. I never heard of that. It's like, you lived in Minnesota, you've never heard of that.
He's basically that's the Baron After Dark. It's kind of like the Homer Simpson. Oh, frosting.
Oh, frosting. You got it. No.
Yeah, you know what, Anonymous? Because you downvoted the stream, I'm gonna play this, and I was gonna spare you from this tonight, but no, you downloaded my stream, so payback.
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
You, sir,
What?
are a monster for downvoting the stream.
I think
Anonymous. Anonymous. Anonymous.
No, I think you one. I think he wanted you to play it, and two,
Yes.
I don't think he's joking.
Wait. No, this can't be Anonymous. He hates it when I play that clip. He absolutely despises it.
This is
Is it
not
one-
the real Anonymous.
Is it one of the Hogwarts lesbians he found in the basement that's doing this?
I think so.
Okay.
Who are you, and what have you done with the real Anonymous?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, see, he's playing it. Well, he's playing Vermintide too, so someone else is doing the typing. And he's saying one thing, but he's like, oh no, he doesn't want that on there. I'll just change it to this because they don't think that this is actually how Animos talks to us.
Hey, guys, I'm not kidding on this. I checked Studio, and it went from 10 to 9. Okay,
Wow.
okay, cool. All right.
He didn't deserve it. Yeah,
He didn't deserve it.
Yeah. False humility. Yeah.
Well, this is. There's probably a clip for you, Anonymous.
I think on the next.
You're not being repressed. See, that only happens if you're on the panel and I decide, okay, I'm kicking you out.
Yeah. You know what? You know what, Anonymous?
Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah.
Great scene.
Mm-hmm. And for saying that you're being repressed,
surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
He's just trying to get us to play more random clips. That's what's going on. I know your game.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We have been down on doing the clips. We've been getting people calling, saying stuff and going, "Oh, you guys,
What the hell you say?"
Do you know
you
what
guys don't play
Anonymous?
the clips."
Yeah, you know what Anonymous?
That's right. I said, I ain't giving you no tree fitty, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money.
I gave him a.
Yeah,
Give him a
Anonymous. I gave him a.
What we're talking about? Oh yeah, graham crackers. We're talking about graham cracker sandwiches.
But
we're talking about an important
Anonymous,
thing before you derailed us.
yeah. And Anonymous, you know us by now.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow?
Yo!
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
And we better be careful because we do need that dwarf action. So, we don't want them not to show up, and it's like we get the random dwarf that runs ahead.
Lucky guess on all of us. But gentlemen, before we leave, go ahead and promote yourself, starting with our own AI, Cash
not
Money
AI.
007.
I'm a real person, I promise. All right. Yes, I'm real. There's pictures out there. It proves myself. All right.
I haven't seen them.
You haven't seen them, right? Okay. Anyways, so 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time in just a few days. On Friday, we'll be playing Vermintide 2 again. The goal is to beat the final boss on veteran difficulty. We're almost there. We're not quite there.
Wait, what?
We did that one time. We were almost there.
Beat the final boss, you say?
Veteran difficulty.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Oh man, yeah, that Act 5 is pretty tough. So we got the big dude down, and then we had to take down the rats. So we're almost there on veteran difficult. Almost there, not quite, but almost there. Sure, Anonymous. Don't make us play the puppet song again. So we got that, and then the videos are almost done. I've been trying to perfect them, is making sure that they are good, and then Mike and I are going to also test the restream because it keeps making a double stream on YouTube. So we'll do that before the stream, Mike. Maybe like a few hours before the stream. So. But that's what's coming up on the Phantom Hooligans. The videos will most likely be released this week, which I'm looking forward to. I've got some information on Persona and some other stuff, so should be good.
Very good. And why are you bringing up Cash's girlfriend?
Well, no, that's Cash. Look at the chin. Look at the chin. Look at the chin.
When I saw that video first, Baron's like, "That's a woman." I'm like, "It is." Like, I don't want to be mean, but maybe I should.
There we go. There's Cat. It's a good one. Yeah.
That's
he's in the eye. I told you, he's in the eye. Look at that.
That's my arcane picture.
that's Cat. That shows that he is in the eye. Look at that. No, that's the one. This is the one I put Cash's face on. Look at that magnificent chin down there. Look at that chin.
Yeah, that chin's a little off.
Like that?
There, yeah. I make a quality Klingon, I think.
Well, Mister, with the pictures and the memes and
exactly the things and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you got coming up? Yes. Oh. What do you have coming up? Up?
So, and Paranorman takes. Oh, geez, I was hoping I could get by this without laughing. I'm losing it.
He's losing it again, Mike. Well,
I think he never had it to lose. He never had it to lose.
It's probably true.
On Phantom Legacy, Saturday, 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time. On, of course, Phantom Legacy, to Babylon 5 Season 4. I think we're going to finally finish Season 4. Of course, it's with these two guys here, Mike, and of course, Cash AI 007. And
as long as that's non isn't there, I will be happy. As long as the non isn't there.
Yeah, that freaking Centauri. Yeah.
Yep. So so we'll be there. Hopefully, Lord Crit and Peter McCracken will join us as well. Of course, I'm going to be coming out with an exercise video. That way, you'll be able to get a body like this. So, be looking for Baron Norman tags, dancing to the oldies, sweating to the oldies, and we're going to get you a body like you never dreamed you'd have. So.
Or a body that you never wished you had.
And 1 and 2, why are you lifting up that sandwich? Well,
donut.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Baron?
No, whatever I'm doing with you guys.
Yeah. And Agent
And
Smith
cash
decided
money.
to
Demand refund. Promote Anonymous to replace cash
Mm.
money.
yeah, Agent Smith decided to come back from the Matrix. So
Mhm.
Yes, see, even Paul says, damn the non. Centauri for life.
there's a
Even Paul
conspiracy
gets
going
it.
on again.
Oh,
They
that's
didn't read the book of Jaquan. That's their problem.
yeah. No, they weren't
They
enlightened.
They weren't enlightened, Baron. Exactly.
In the book of Jakar that comes up there.
Book of Jakar.
No, yeah, book of Jakar.
Yeah, or Jaquan, right?
Well, no. Okay, we'll have that there. There you go. There you go, Mike.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. That's right. Come on.
Ah!
And as
No.
far as what's coming up on. Okay, you got something to say? Say it.
Oh, I was just going to say the cat. No, Jakar is writing the book and becomes the book of Jakar. So you have the book of Jaquan, and then you have the follow-up sequel, the book of Jakar. For real.
Okay.
For real. That's in the story. You see him writing. In fact, one of the jokes is Garibaldi put a glass on it and stained, and had the infamous stain. So every copy of the book of Jaquan has to have that stain in it.
Nice.
Yeah. Back to you, Mike.
All right. As far as what's coming up on Pacific Forum 4, it'll be on the YouTube, Rumble, and Twitch channels tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'll be playing more Mad Max. So I'll be out there in the wasteland yet again, and I want to try to get even further in that game. I want to try to get the parts I need, not only for the Stronghold, but also acquire that V8. Sorry. Damn pollen. But acquire the V8 engine so that the Magnum Opus is a speedster.
Ooh.
It's already looking nice. Now I want it to be fast.
Of course, he'll be driving a what's that you're gonna be driving on this one? A Dodge Neon, right? It's a Dodge Neon you'll be driving to get that. So
I don't know. I was kind of thinking of
Anybody want
Honda
dogs?
Civic.
Honda Civic. Anybody want dogs? Oh no, it's a Ford Fiesta. That's what you're driving, a Ford Fiesta.
Oh gosh. Thanks, Baron. Thanks a lot, man.
Going through the wood wastelands. Well, you had the Vega, you had the Pinto, you had the Maverick, you had the Gremlin, the Yugo.
And as you already heard, I will be with Baron and Cash both Friday and Saturday. Then Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern will be the Sunday edition of Pop Talk. And then next week, there won't be a stream Monday or Tuesday next week, but on Tuesday, I will be on Pop's channel, and I'll join him, Stone Loki, and Ironcaster, and I believe Squeaky Mouse is going to be there as well. I might be wrong on that, but we're going to, yes. We're going to be talking about Transformers, the movie. Now, those of you who joined us during the watch party a couple of weeks ago, you know that I enjoy the movie, but we're going to be talking about it, and I'm sure we're going to get everybody's perspective on the movie, how they saw it when it came out. And then, of course, there's going to be the Wednesday edition of Pop Talk, and there's probably only going to be one gaming stream for next week. I just have to decide which game I actually play. I might actually play one game on stream, while the other game, I just work on it offline.
Mad Max.
We'll see how far I get tomorrow.
Okay. I have to remember to tune in and watch.
That'll determine if Mad Max is the game for next week. But that's what's coming up on the channel. I appreciate everybody watching, not only on Twitter, but also on Baron's Facebook and also the Phantom Hooligans. Those of you who watched on Rumble, thank you very much. As a matter of fact, at this time, I do want to thank everybody. So let's make sure I have everybody starred real quick before I start reading off names and then realizing I did not star names. So give me 1 second here. All right, so that should do it. So I want to thank Paul and Phantomology for stopping by. Greatly appreciate it.
Buddy!
I also want to thank Angry Canadian. It was good to see you, brother. It's been a while. I understand that you've been busy, but I appreciate you stopping by tonight. And it was good to see Kathy Skywalker the other night, too.
See, Angry Canadian had to help take care of the Godzilla problem they were having over there.
And Anonymous was here. Anonymous. Jet Sparks was here. DJ Ronnie G.
Nerd.
Lord Crit of Everest Productions. The Padawannabe. Some guy from Norway. Jason Fox from 540 Studio. I don't know that guy. You guys know that guy?
I think he does a show called.
Yeah, he pops around. Yeah.
Doesn't he do a show 1 quarter pop?
You were supposed to play along with that, Cash.
I did a better job. I did a better job.
Baron's just looking for attention.
Baron, remind me to wipe Cash's programming.
Okay.
And put it in
your
program.
I'm going to give you both the virus.
Yeah.
In your computer.
Whoa, that could be taken wrong.
Whoa.
Whoa.
That's why I said in computers. I know where you guys are going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got something to download for you guys.
Virus in
Oh, jeez. And
Let me
Vor,
get
good to
my
see
disc
you.
in.
Good to see you, Vor.
Leia Rose, always good to see you. The princess of YouTube.
And president and full member of the Film and Crack and Pain Club.
But it's still always nice to see Phil. And thank you again, Phil, for joining us on Monday. And of course, Big Daddy T-Gab Steve with the latest episode of Beverly Hills 414. Where's the story going next? I don't know. I'll have to read it ahead of time on Sunday.
Turn the. Oh God, what happened?
Oh my.
Oh my.
My. It depends on what substances, what good substances he gets before he starts writing it. Well, that's where it's going to go.
But thank you everybody for watching us tonight. Again, we greatly appreciate your support. Putting up with our shenanigans when we're silly, and also sticking with us when we're reading articles like the one earlier tonight with the last survivor of the USS Arizona passing away on Monday. Again, I think stories like that need to be talked about. And
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's an end of an age.
Yeah,
really,
it is. And I think knowledge of that era and many other eras needs to be passed down so that people don't forget.
Nope.
But as always, we appreciate your support, and without you, we can't do this. So I hope you all have a good rest of your Wednesday night or Thursday, depending on where you're at. Just like Angry Canadian is halfway around the world, so it's already Thursday for him. So thank you all. Have yourself a great one. And remember, don't ever give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
What we're hearing was Cubs are going to the series on Monday. Cubs are going to the series.
Hey, they won. They won, okay? I'm happy about that. They won last night too, Baron. And they're winning right now, but it's still too early to call it.
Okay, that's it.
Baron,
the
you
Cubs
just
have
want
won
to
the series.
You just want to be a bigger asshole than the two of us.
Hey, I'm twice your guys' size.
He just wants to kick us in places where we haven't even thought of yet.